Hey everybody, Stu the editor here. I just wanted to clock that the audio is going to change at the end of the Sony block for a little bit. We had to use the video audio because the mics cut out. It's only for that little section, and for the rest of the video it'll be back to normal. Thanks for watching and listening, and enjoy the show.
This is a new setting for us, actually. This is a new room. This is
new couch.
so we can't say which hotel it is.
Why not?
It's a because next year
we don't want to blow up the
people
spot.
will like.
We don't want to ruin the secret. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It's a
we'll
good
come
one.
back to the same place next year, and then people will be like, "Oh, I camped outside." Do we want to call this?
Nobody's camping out for us.
Dude,
Right?
I
hotel has already
guarantee you
been
there'll be at least
destroyed for
one
this.
person.
No.
One hotel has already been destroyed for us.
What's that?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Well, you know what we don't have, and that is an ironing board. We actually have a real table.
Oh, we actually have a real table.
Does this hotel even offer an ironing board?
It does have one in there. Yeah,
Oh, I should
that's
go.
right.
Hang on.
Let's get it out.
Get it?
He's actually going to get it. I
in the
respect
closet.
that
That's
so
right. No, in
much.
the
the
closet.
Sorry,
He's
in the
literally
other room in Ralph's suite.
It's the fucking bathroom, Lucy. We're staying. There's someone else's. Oh, that's right. It's your hotel that has the shower and the toilet in the same room as the bed.
That doesn't have a.
I didn't
there's
send
no
you the
shower
picture, did
curtain.
I? I'm going to send you that
I
later.
want to see the photo. Nice.
Yeah.
You have to hang the shower curtain up, but they didn't give you a shower curtain.
Yeah, I don't have a shower curtain.
It's insane.
So the water just splashes all over the carpet.
Actually,
Is there carpet in your room?
It does a pretty good job of staying
They
in.
angled the shower head in a weird way so it doesn't go
Right,
beyond
okay.
a certain point.
Nice.
And I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's at least well made.
There you go. That's it. But we're here in LA.
We made it.
We are in Los Angeles right now when things are happening in other...
We probably shouldn't be in Los Angeles right now.
We are not going near that topic right now.
Yes.
We are just talking about video games tonight.
Yes, this is episode 71 of the Friends Per Second podcast, the rare in-person edition. We're always kind of in person for this event, and it's going to be a long one. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
There is.
So for your context at home, viewers, it's 8:45 at night.
We have some DoorDash on the way.
We've got some Dave's Hot Chicken
But we're all in the same
coming.
time zone, so
It is nice.
It's going to be all right.
It's good.
It's gonna get wacky.
It's a busy episode with all the stuff all the announcements, all the things we've also gotten hands-on with and played.
Yeah.
We're also talking to Alex Jordan,
Yes.
famous voice actor.
How'd you know?
and
And
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
also famous Star Wars actor, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I know,
Andor.
right? Well, specifically, I feel like you can't call it Star Wars. You actually need to call it Andor. Because to call it Star Wars is actually disrespectful. Because Andor is like at that level now where it's straight up better. So
I was really happy to see him. Like when I saw him, it released loads of endorphins.
Sure.
Oh my god.
All right. Speaking of, jeez, God, Tamoor Hussain is here.
Hello, I'm
What's up,
back. The Gremlin.
That's
My
right.
Gremlin, Goblin.
No, Goblin.
Goblin.
Resident
Goblin.
Well, what do you want to be?
Goblin.
No,
I
if we're
like
gonna
Goblin.
keep doing that
Yeah,
every
me
time, it's
too.
gonna be a long episode, Lucy. All right.
I agree with Goblin. Thank you for being
Yeah, I
here.
like that.
Thank you for having me.
It's
As
always good to
always,
have you
appreciate
here
it.
in
Absolutely.
person. We should probably just jump
Right into
right
it.
into
Right
it.
into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we got a big long list. I think we're gonna do it how we always do and kind of just like
Yeah.
rattle through the list. There's
Sure.
a lot of reactions.
Yeah.
So the first thing was right before all the big stuff with Summer Game Fest was Sony's State of Play. So a lot of stuff.
Can you zoom that in? My eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
at an
I'll
angle
right off
where
the
I
dome
can't see.
though. Am I wrong in thinking this was like a fantastic state of play?
You said that yesterday.
Yeah,
and I was like,
like-
you were like, I was so good. And I was like,
super into this. I would basically everything they showed. I was like, yes, I would play that. We'll talk about it as we go. But I was very impressed. I think it was short and sharp, but I think it was like all killer, no filler. I was impressed. I mean, obviously, it wasn't an Xbox showcase. They've had Xbox 2 for 2 now in the last 2 years. But I was very impressed. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was.
So you
good.
feel different?
no, I just don't remember it like moving me
Okay.
to that extent. And like I said this yesterday, like I can't remember any of the games that were
I mean,
I can't believe Thief is back.
that I'm less enthused about. That's a VR game, as I
Oh,
understand.
let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Okay,
They
go
made
on.
Garrett a girl. What's the deal with that? I'm kidding. They did. Garrett's actually still in the game. Apparently, they teased Garrett at the end, but no, I'm happy that Thief is back at least somewhat.
It is. It's a VR game, though, right? Yeah, it is.
It's PSVR 2. It's called Thief: Legacy of Shadow. It's not the first one I thought we would talk about, but
sure.
it actually looks fun. It looks like a well implemented.
I can't believe
VR
they're
thing.
releasing a PSVR game, VR2 game.
You know what? I'm glad they're still kind of showing up for it a little
Yep.
bit.
As soon as I saw that gameplay, that trailer roll, as in for a different game, I was like, "Oh, look, Suda made a new game."
Yes.
And I was just saying, let's get to Suda,
And then,
please.
sure enough, at the end of the trailer, it's like from Suda, and I'm like, "Wow, what a surprise! Who could have seen that coming?"
Yes.
Romeo's a dead man.
Romeo's a dead man.
2026, maybe.
Cool, because in his previous game, the main character is called Juliet.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
yeah, in
Yeah.
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
sure. I thought that looked fantastic. I love that he does his weird, crazy shit. I love that Sony are backing him on it. I'm guessing it's a PS5 exclusive. It felt like it was.
I would be surprised if it
who's
was.
bankrolling him? Is it NetEase?
I don't know, to be honest. But it kind of, I just saw it. But then again, it's funny. The Xbox showcase listed PlayStation logos
Yeah,
during
for
that thing.
PlayStation
Gears.
won't do that.
For
No,
Gears,
PlayStation
they
won't
won't
do
It's
do
on
that.
that.
PlayStation and PC. Also Xbox. We're not going to tell you.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So, but it looked
Gears.
fantastic. Silent Hill F, first gameplay for that.
It's nice to see that it looks like it plays like Silent Hill 2 remake,
Sure.
but I just found all the stuff they're cooking on really interesting.
Me
The
too.
Japanese influence, the music, the sound. We got to see like disgusting monsters
Yeah.
really pushing it.
Yep, I agree.
Have they said what kind of where it is? Is it like an origin story for?
I think it's
Silent Hill, or
It's
is
just
it
its own thing.
another
I think it
element?
takes
Totally
place
separate thing.
I think it's like takes place not currently, maybe like 70s, 80s, 90s, something like that.
It's intriguing because Silent Hill as a place is what really defines that series, right?
Yeah.
I think it's
And-
like yes, it does, but it's also like the fog, right? And if you took the fog to somewhere else, like that would still
Fog City.
manifest in the same
Fog City,
shit.
I guess so.
do you
Yeah,
know what
that's,
I
that's
mean?
a good way to look at it. Yeah.
So,
San
yeah.
Francisco, Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Why not? When in Rome.
I think it looked great. The Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
I was into this.
Me too,
Yeah,
actually.
Digital Eclipse.
Yeah.
Digital Eclipse doing the
I'm
Lord's
like,
work.
okay,
Yep.
cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
But the fact that they're doing with that, so it's a collection of like Mortal Kombat 1 to 4, right? I believe something like that.
Yeah,
was it
four's-
1 to
four's
3
included.
or was it?
No,
oh,
four's
four's
included,
in,
yeah.
okay.
But then
cool,
also like arcade versions, handheld versions, console versions. Very cool.
I think we were at the YouTube theater yesterday. I think it was you, or was you on the stairs? I forget who it was. But we were standing on the staircase looking down, and I see some guy.
Oh, it's me, yeah.
it was you. And I was like staring at the
Ralph
crowd.
was like intently looking
and I was
at
like
this
looking
guy.
at this
He's
guy
like-
in the crowd. He's grey hair, like older guy, and I'm like, I fucking know that guy from somewhere. Where do I know him? Tam looks at me and goes, Ralph, it's Ed Boon.
Jeez. Man.
And I'm like,
like right next to him is like a Warner Brothers PR wearing a Warner Brothers jacket. And I was like, come on, dog.
it's a bad moment, but I've had worse moments.
Seems like-
as you will learn from the Alex Jordan interview, I've had
you will
worse
hear soon.
moments
We
this
are
week.
slowly
for
discovering
sure.
that Ralph suffers from face blindness.
Tam,
Well, hang on, I was going to say, speaking of fighting games, Marvel
Tokon.
Tokon Fighting
Yeah,
Souls.
I actually don't know. Is it
Yeah.
actually called Tokon?
Yes, Tokon. I think it refers to the soul of like a thing of,
Okay.
of the fighting or something like that.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's very literal. Yeah.
That looked incredible.
Sony's like serious about it. Like it's not just like a little license thing. Like
No,
they
they
its Arc
announced
system
a
works.
brand new arcade stick.
Mhm.
Official
I know.
Sony. Like that is the level of. Also, Sony owns Evo now,
Yeah,
so
they're like all in.
it makes
of course.
perfect sense for them
Yeah.
to.
They're going
go
to
all
pump
in.
this so hard. If they own Evo and they own a fighting game
Mhm.
and they own like you can imagine they're going to go really hard on
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like bonus for signups. You know,
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
sign up
yeah.
at Evo, you get like
They
a $50
they have done
voucher.
that before, where they put some money into pots and,
Oh, okay,
and that
right,
kind of
right,
stuff.
right.
So
Yeah,
they
sure.
will juice this definitely.
But I mean,
is
it
it
just,
two? Is it two character tag or 3?
four
Four.
Four players. Yeah, four
Wow.
tags. Four tags.
That
So-
is the because no one's as far as I know, no one's done 4 before.
That's okay.
Three
So that's the
is-
hook.
That's the big hook, yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's got like I need to rewatch it, but like it's got some wild stuff where you can have characters come in and then switch to them during a tag. I might have misread it, but like it's a very weird system that I've not seen implemented. It's not like they just went, "Oh, Marvel vs. Capcom
No.
plus one character." It's something weird going
Yeah,
on. there.
yeah. I grew up with like Marvel comics, and you know, has like this very American style. There were some artists that kind of, you know, flirted with more anime stylings. Like Joe Mad's like art kind of has like
Yeah,
bit
that's
of anime
Yeah.
flavor to it. And I
Yeah.
really loved his art so much. So I feel like we've kind of seen the Western spin on those characters forever, and now seeing like more like Japanese / Asian spin on like these characters in Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
And this
These
is
look
just-
way better than Marvel Rivals.
Look, I think that I think they both look fantastic. Because if you really look at all the skins and everything they got going in Marvel Rivals,
some of the skins are
some
good.
of those skins are incredible.
Yeah.
You know,
I love their
the takes
Wolverine.
on these characters are nuts. Like the Gundam Iron Man.
Yeah.
Come on now, like it looks
Yeah.
just wild.
Yeah, the Gundam Iron Man is bold. I think that's really
I
cool.
love
Captain
it.
America has like a jacket.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
He does.
So, Kamala looks more like anime-esque.
Yeah, she does.
she looks
And
really
it's like a
cool.
really good fit.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
it
oh
works
wow,
so
damn,
well.
that works.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm not even a fighting game guy, but I'm actually extremely excited for that. I will check it out.
Yeah.
I just would love to spend some time with it because I love the art. I love the characters.
Yeah.
I was a huge like Marvel vs. Capcom guy back in the day.
Yeah, the
So,
pedigree
yeah.
of the team is like perfect for them as well. They
Yep.
just Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Fighters was like beloved in the fighting game. It was like a out of nowhere, holy crap! We didn't expect to be this into it,
Mm.
and it like really was a jolt in the arm for the fighting game community for a while. So I think people are gonna come and back this real big.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did want to ask you about Metal Gear Solid 3 and what you thought about that
The
trailer.
18th trailer we've
the
seen.
Yeah,
trailer,
but it's the
yeah.
first one where, in my opinion, we got a glimpse of like what it's actually
Like
gonna look and feel
they
like.
showed like
Yeah.
the Fury at
Yeah.
one point and that kind of stuff. It's weird because I've been thinking a lot about what you said about it when we first spoke about it. It was like it feels like it's missing like a heart part of it.
Yeah,
And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I think it's that it almost feels like when games switched to Unreal Engine and it was like something's missing here. It feels like there's not a handcrafted touch to it.
Yes.
But that is quickly overridden by the fact that it's Metal Gear Solid 3. And I'm
Yes.
just like, I just want to play this shit out.
I
of that
like
game.
too. It's like we really got to see it now, like showing, like they showed some of the bosses, like they showed Ocelot like reloading
Yeah.
in game, and it is still like they said, it is those animations.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of weird.
Yeah,
But
it
in a
is
good
odd.
way.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm so excited for that game.
Yep.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Sure.
I mean, you haven't played 3 yet, have you? You
No.
stopped. Yeah. So this could be a really interesting
Well,
moment.
that's the thing.
for you.
So, do you think I should play 3 original before I play Delta?
no,
But then, if I play Delta, would it be impossible for me to go back to 3?
Honestly, because they are keeping a lot of the stuff intact.
it looks
they've-
1-to-1. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've said they're
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
shit. Also, there's a new Bloodstained game.
Yep.
The Scarlet
That looks
Agent.
fantastic.
Wait. Can we go back to Metal Gear?
Yeah,
for 1
please.
second. There was that moment right at the end where he's like hiding in camo, and then that
Yeah.
The
guard
multiplayer.
comes. Yeah, you were like
Yeah.
multiplayer.
Yeah,
Does it? Do you think it's
it has to be. Yeah, because I mean,
because it's based on the way that character was moving, right?
oh, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
it was like it
Also,
was
the
like-
soldier character was not. It was like a generic soldier. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't like one of the GRU or anything
So
like that.
what? Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence
Subsistence,
had,
yeah, had
a multiplayer
online, yeah,
mode.
yeah.
So I feel like they're doing something like that again, but probably
It's
different.
interesting because they have had multiplayer modes in Metal Gear games, never been successful.
Yeah, they
Apart
found out
from maybe Peace Walker, but that was a
Yeah.
different kind of thing.
4 had a cult following though.
Yeah,
It was
because
cool.
it had that human catapult thing in there.
It was insane,
It's
yeah.
insane. But I'm very keen for a multiplayer Metal Gear.
It'll be
Yeah.
if they can.
But that whole social deception thing is like back, but obviously with Among Us and tons of other games.
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed had its thing where it was like
Oh,
it was
Assassin's
great.
Creed multiplayer rock.
Exactly
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
And-
I like if this wanted to play in that space of like
Yes.
multiplayer hide and seek, it would work.
And the reason I think that you're correct there is because the way the camo works is different.
Yeah,
Like you don't go into menus anymore. It's quick. It's like Metal Gear Solid
True.
4, where you just like
It
press up
happens.
against it just happens.
Yeah.
So that is the social stealth thing taken to the furthest extreme, where
Yeah.
you could just press up against the wall and you are the wall now.
Yeah, that'd be
That's-
nice.
that
Be
could
the
be really
wall.
cool. Yeah.
Bring on the wall.
But Bloodstain did look good. I was very impressed by that.
Mhm.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yes.
Now starring Ben
Yeah.
Starr.
of course.
Well, of course it does. Absolutely. God bless.
After every showcase, I've been messaging him and being like, only one showing.
That's right.
Lacking.
I remember we sat through a whole showcase this week without a Ben Starr appearance, and I'm like, "What's going on, man? Standards are slipping."
Thingy's in it as well. Brianna, who played
Brianna White?
Aerith in Rebirth and Re. She's
yeah,
a character
right,
in there
okay,
as well. So
excellent.
they've
That's
like
nice.
cherry picked
That's
some
good.
recent Final Fantasy.
I like that. That's
Yeah, it's
actually
really cool,
a really
yeah.
cool way to do it.
And that game is awesome. It's
course.
so good.
I
Like
never finished it. back
it's
in the day.
really good.
Classic.
It is one of the most political games ever
Sure.
made. Which
Really?
and like, did you read the?
Oh, the statement. Yeah.
The statement was just
Yeah, he's like, "I didn't write
Chef
that shit,
kiss. Yeah.
but I wish I did." You know?
yeah. It's like good.
Yeah.
So good. And You cannot keep the politics out of that game. Man, you
Yeah.
can try about damn.
One of my reveals of the show actually was not reveals, but like baby steps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That
Because
looks
that's been at
so
TJ, I think,
good.
before.
It has been revealed before, but we saw much more of it here. It looks incredible, super funny. And one shout out that I want to do actually, because when I was in Tokyo, I was there with a guy called Simon Parkin, who is a UK journalist.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
friend
we
of
know
ours.
Simon,
Yeah,
yeah.
never met him before. Super-
Absolute bloody legend.
He's a very good
Top,
guy.
top lad.
Top lad.
And like, turns out he's also like really talented at what he does.
Insanely
Oh,
smart.
didn't he write a book about like
Yes,
the
he's
Enigma?
multiple
Yeah,
books.
he's had
His books are
I think
good.
one of his books has been optioned for a movie.
Yes.
Yep.
And he has a podcast called My Perfect Console,
He does.
and I've never listened to it before. But then I
Oh.
listened
It's
to
really good.
the first episode. It was Bennett Foddy,
Mhm.
the maker of this game, and also like getting over it with Bennett Foddy, co-op, yada yada.
Yep.
It was like one of the best video game conversations I've ever heard. Bennett Foddy was in like
Damn.
Cut Copy as a bassist. Australians will know Cut Copy, but most other people won't. It's a band. It had its moment in Australia, whatever.
Mhm.
While he was in this band, he was also getting his PhD in philosophy, while also dabbling in like the indie game dev scene at a time when it was at absolute like, zenith.
Jeez, man.
Incredible conversation. It's My Perfect Console is the podcast. It's the episode with Bennett Foddy. I promise you,
It's
it
great.
is one of the best conversations I've heard about video games.
Yep.
Amazing.
All
Anyway,
those
shout
ep-
out to Simon
yeah,
Parkin.
all those episodes are like fascinating in various
Yeah,
ways.
yeah. So,
Absolute bloody legend.
well, that's how they do it over there, right?
In the
It's in the
UK.
British Isles.
British, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I want to play the game about the little gross walking guy.
Yeah.
He's
Cool.
so disgusting.
Yeah, ever
God
since I
bless
first
him.
saw it, I was like most anticipated. And like we finally got
It's
a new
on.
trailer, so it's good.
Yeah.
Neo 3, I did not expect.
Me neither.
Yeah,
None of you. Do you like Neo? Actually, that'd be interesting because you're a Souls guy.
I recognize Neo is a quality made game.
Yes.
It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did not dig too.
It's got a lot of things in it, like perhaps too many things, because
Stuff.
there's
Yes,
a lot of
yes.
loot and there's a lot of enemy
Mm.
bullshit, a
The
lot of
peop-
enemies and a lot of bullshit in the enemy design. And
The people that love it because it is technically a Souls-like,
Yes.
but with just a crazy amount of mechanics
Correct.
involved.
it's like if Team Ninja made a Souls-like, which is exactly what it is,
Mhm.
And the thing I find it's not frustrating, but like it feels like they've made too many of those games. Like
They
they've
have.
made that, and then they made
Wolong.
Wolong, and then
Yes,
was it
exactly.
Wolong, and then there was
Rise of the
the
Ronin.
Ronin,
Yeah.
and like they all kind of bleed into each
I
other,
agree.
and
Oh,
they all
God,
have drastic
yeah.
like quality weirdness changes, and like I feel like they've overexposed that element of it.
I do agree with you.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you on that.
And-
Look,
and
I'm interested in Neo. I'm a Neo enjoyer. I'm glad that they're making another one because
Mm.
I do think this franchise deserves to continue on. I think more people need to experience it. I think its unique spin on this is really interesting because I think, again, I played at hands-on. We'll get to this, but like Wolong Fallen Feathers or whatever.
Wuchang.
Wuchang.
Sorry, that's not Wolong we just talked about. Wuchang Fallen Feathers. And it's the most Souls-like that has ever sold. Like there's just nothing new in there, man. It's just exactly the same as all the others, except now it's in China. And to see Team Ninja put their own spin on things and how distinctive it is, how much work they put into it. I like that they're doing that, and I'd
Yeah.
happily take that over this other stuff, which is
Yeah.
well made and accessible, but really derivative.
I do want to go back to Neo and give it another shot
For sure.
Yeah.
I think
First
you'd
one's good.
enjoy
I like
it
the first one a lot.
Yeah.
if you stick with it despite its bullshit, because there is a lot of bullshit
Yeah.
for sure.
Sea Remnants. The
Did
fuck
you
is
just
that?
skip Lumens?
I was gonna go back.
Luminous.
Okay, Luminous. Sorry,
Luminous.
I'm very tired.
I used to
I'm going to
say-
mispronounce a lot of words on this.
When I was younger and I didn't know anyone else who played it, I thought it was Lumines.
Right. Sure.
I
I
like
never
to call it
played it.
Lumines.
Yeah,
It's fun.
Lumines feels good.
because it's mines, like stuff
Yeah.
exploding. Yeah.
Luminous. Oh, you want to come back to that one,
What's the deal with Lumens?
dude? Fuck you, man. Luminous looked amazing. I actually passed on a hands-on demo with this because I was so overbooked, and
Oh, wow.
then I saw it revealed, and I'm like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Why did I pass on that?
They didn't
God.
say what it was.
Yeah, they didn't say what it
just
was.
Said, this is enhanced games.
Yeah,
I was like, I know what this is.
yeah.
I'm
yeah,
not.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
I didn't go, but I knew someone that I'm the same
Sure.
person. Yeah.
Sure.
Sea Remnants or Sea of Remnants, technically,
Which
is
one
what
was
it's called.
that?
That's the one with it's like a NetEase, like you're a puppet pirate. Did that totally not even?
I remember it, but I don't
do
remember it. If you know what I
that.
mean.
But I
gonna
remember
give it a
thinking that like it looks
Google.
interesting, but we don't actually know what it really
No.
is, right?
Right.
Similar to Tides of Tomorrow, which we got a little bit of that. That's
Ah.
multiplayer, like kind of free running heist, but it's like you're following like almost racing ghost avatars of someone else's
Yes.
trial to
Oh,
see
yeah.
which way to escape.
Yes.
Yep.
I like the art style.
Yeah.
I
The
thought the
art
art
style was
style
cool,
was
yeah.
really
Yeah.
something else.
Yep. Agreed.
In terms of, I mean, can I talk about Bond now?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, yeah,
I was
you
waiting
can.
until we get to Bond.
007 First Light. We got good,
Good.
nice, flashy trailer for that.
Good.
Not to like shill, but like it checks all my boxes.
Mm,
You have an image in your head of like what it might be, and I essentially like IO Interactive, love them, love what they did with Hitman, and like so I had an idea in my head of like what it might look like, feel like. I just didn't really have an image of what the Bond would be like, and he's like a young guy.
I
which is
love that
interesting.
there's like 23-year-old, you know, like fresh out of uni, kind of like cocksure
Yeah.
Bond. He's
It's
like,
weird to look at James Bond and go, fucking kid. You
Yeah,
know?
that's
Like,
right. But
It's such a weird
I
feeling.
love that angle. I think it's so fresh. Like we just never seen it before. I
It's
think it's
quite
perfect.
clever because it lets them do almost. I'm not saying that they'll make it derivative, but it lets them play in the kind of Nathan Drake archetype space with a character that people know. And Bond is the original version of that, right? Like he's just a sophisticated version of it by the time we get there. So we're gonna get the real dirtbag version.
We're gonna get
of
like
it.
before he has any
Yeah.
class, and
'Cause
he's
he's-
like drinking wine out of a box and
'Cause he's
shit.
like-
And his one line is a shit.
Yeah, it's
he's-
terrible.
Oh, that's great.
Girls
Yeah.
are just like he'd come up with a one-liner, and a girl would just look up
Strike
and down
out.
and just
Yeah.
fuck off, man.
Stories is fresh out of the Air Force, right? They plot
The
the
Navy.
Navy.
He's at the Navy and he wants to earn his 00 status.
I love it, man. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. So we interviewed Hussain, the CEO of IO, and they said some really interesting stuff about that. Like, the one question I stuck with, I keep thinking about is like, I was like, Hitman went for like 12 years. Do you expect this game to have that kind of longevity? And his answer was like coy, but he answered it in a way where I thought, oh, they could make a world of Bond. Like, and his career to the point of becoming 00 doesn't have to be one game.
No,
It could be this ongoing thing of years and years and years, which is really cool because like 11 years later, you could be like, we're done with this game. He's 007 now.
But I mean, yeah, because usually when we see Bond, he's like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So realistically, you got 17 years to get the job done. That's enough time.
I've never read any of them, but I know there was a set of novels about young Bond.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Wasn't there a young James Bond like TV show or something?
That's Indiana Jones.
I was like, Indiana Jones, I know that.
Young
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, River Phoenix.
I do think they it's a really good idea to also lean on like little references to like Ian Fleming directly stuff, because it lets them kind of carve out a different identity from all the baggage of like all the Bond movies, and people are going to associate with that, but like it's still technically from something. It's from the like people like with the scar. Some people like saw it, they're like, why does he have a scar? It's so lame. And then other people are like, actually it's from the books. Which is just cool to see that discourse in James Bond. But like he's driving like a different kind of Aston Martin. They're not like pounding on the main James Bond theme. They use a lot of the Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is like my favorite shit.
Sure.
Man, like I wonder if they must be doing, you know, full Bond theme, because 007 Nightfire had its own Bond theme.
Yes, Everything or Nothing also was that banger.
Yeah.
Everything or
Don't love me quietly.
Who sung that?
I don't.
Did they actually get someone?
Was it called Nightfire?
Nightfire. That
Okay.
I don't know why, but like that's the thing. Was like you have all these cultural touch points with Bond, but you have the theme, you
The
have
watches.
the watches, the
They can
gadgets,
put you on
the
bigger watches than
women.
channel.
Yeah.
Can I just say I hate Daniel Craig because in Casino Royale he says the watch, they're like, nice watch. He goes, Omega. And literally nobody. One time I said Omega, and someone was like, "What the fuck are you saying?" I immediately was like, I mean, yeah. And I googled it afterwards, and there are literally a bunch of like Reddit threads of people being like, "Why did he say it like that?"
The Nightfire song is called Nearly Civilized. It's a song by Estero.
Oh, of course.
Jake, why don't you give us a bit of Estero?
No, I will not. Sorry, I refuse. I think this is cool. I'm curious to see how it actually plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
I just have no doubt that it'll be good though, because it's like it's IO. They've been making this game. They've been warming up for this game for the last like forever. Like this is the game they were like born to make. I just don't see how they fuck this up.
There was also a point during an interview where he hinted at like these open world missions and how the impact of, imagine a Hitman mission, But instead of running everywhere, you could ride a fun quick.
Yeah. Because the part of it is that
That
like
was the exciting bit.
part of the one fantasy he was saying is the fact that he gets to go everywhere. And
Cars,
it's, same,
exotic locations.
yeah, same with like Hitman. Agent 47 gets deployed all over the world.
Yeah.
Is the guy Le Bon? Is it a man we know that they haven't revealed yet? Like,
It's
So
the
the
Dexter guy.
scuttlebutt is Patrick Gibson, who plays young Dexter. Everyone thinks it's him. So I don't know or believe they've officially confirmed, but there's
People keep tagging Jake and I. Say, you look like Bond. We're like, no, we're just two white dudes without beards. Okay,
Yeah,
you
it's
need
the
to find
character
other
creator, like the first white guy that comes up.
That's right. That's all it is, right? Okay, because we're the only two people on the internet without beards.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see if it can pull off that feeling of being slick. Some of those Bond games had moments where it was like you would do something and it would go and it like felt you get that like endorphin rush.
Isn't the problem? Isn't the point?
Should be like the Tony Hawk stunt sound.
Yeah.
It's like every time you do a really cool kill, you just start sound playing.
But isn't the point? He shouldn't be slick yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
He's
that's,
gonna
I
be
guess
still
that's
a
why.
little sloppy. He has to be Nathan Drake. That's
Yeah,
the
Or he's got to really earn the slickness.
And it works in the like accidental chaos of Hitman, where like you throw, you're trying to throw a scissor at a person,
You throw
and it goes the wrong way, and you're like, oh my god.
yeah, and then you have to scramble and figure out what the hell happens next. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Young Horses? Not Young
I have
Horses.
slow
Horses.
That's a Gary Oldman show.
Yeah. Because the main guy in that, like, he
Sure.
desperately wants to be the James Bond, but
He does,
but
doesn't he?
they put him off to Slough
Yeah,
House. and
They
he's-
did,
yeah.
yes, Slough House. Nothing good happens with the word Slough.
That sounds
It's The Office.
Don't like that.
It's The Office.
Yeah,
It's-
and Ali G.
Yeah.
Oh, is he from Slough as well? Is he?
Is he from Slough?
No, he's from-
he's from Peckham. No,
No, he's not.
Up against ST.
Fuck, where is he from? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's so annoying. From Staines.
Staines.
He's from Staines.
He's a Staines massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just deleting it all.
Ali G.
Started about it, stuck on my brain.
Yeah.
So looking back at that showcase, right? This is why I think it was good, okay? Because it had a bunch of shit that I'm generally like. Silent Hill, I will play that. The new Suda game, I will play that. Metal Gear, absolutely. Tales of Tomorrow, too early. Metal Gear Collection, yeah, absolutely. Thief VR, not too fast. Bloodstain, absolutely. Baby Steps, absolutely. Final Fantasy Tactics, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lumens, absolutely. Sea Remnants, that's the one I'm not sure. Neo, maybe. 007, and finish it off with that fighting game. Tell me that is not a good
Yeah,
showcase.
fair play, yeah, fair play.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right, it's a good showcase. Not like incredible. They had like the little Ghost of Yote thing, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the 40 seconds.
They're doing like another deep dive soon on that, so they're just holding it off.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah. But I think Sony, I saw one tweet that was like, Sony does shit states of play, Jim Ryan leaves, Sony does first good state of play, whatever, which I don't think is quite fair. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, it's a
But
good one.
how many live services were announced in this showcase, by the way? The fighting games?
Sea Remnants.
Is Sea Remnants
Yeah,
live
yeah,
service?
definitely.
Yes,
Okay.
Marvel could count.
The fighting games. I mean, it's a fighting game, so it's kind of different. Other than that, none of that bullshit. You know what I mean? It was just
No.
like, these are
Yeah.
just
No.
Sony games.
Well, no fair games and no marathon.
Yeah,
That was
man.
interesting. That was
The
interesting.
fact that Marathon didn't even
I
get a
feel
look
like-
in. But yeah, I mean, like Marathon and Yote must be coming out around the same time. The
Yeah.
fact that Yote get a little stinger and Marathon got nothing.
Yeah, not seeding marathon is, to me, I'm like, oh no.
Look, I think everyone knows where that's at right now. And everyone knows it's just on, like, they're going to figure some shit out. They'll come back to it. It's not looking good. They're obviously,
Oh,
I was never expecting to see a marathon beat in this showcase. Not with everything going on.
I think it will come out and it will be whatever it is, but my concern is like, this is the same path that Concord took.
Absolutely. For sure. Well, I just hope it's not the case.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good.
One down, two to go. Next up is
An ad break?
Summer
games.
Summer Games.
Summer
Next,
Games.
we're going to talk about
Oh.
Summer Games. But
Oh.
before that, say it. Say the line.
Away from our sponsor.
Oh, he's away from us.
Hey, this podcast is brought to you by Factor. Factor's been sponsoring us for a minute now. If you don't know, they deliver fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. These things are great. They're legit good meals. You eat them, you feel good, and they're great. You just throw them in the microwave, you heat them up in a couple of minutes, and you're good to go. Really good for the busy lifestyle. Lucy, I know you're a very busy person.
Yeah, I mean, this summer
already has been very, very busy, and it has been so good to not have to think about grocery shopping, making sure that I'm taking care of myself, getting all my nutrients and whatever in, because I'm coming home and hey, I've had a Factor delivery, and like Jake said, I could just pop them in the microwave. The thing I love most about it is the choice. I always get so stuck on making sure, like, if I'm at the grocery store, I'm like, I don't know what I want to make because I want to make so many different things. And with Factor, it's like, damn, there are 45 weekly menu options, and I can just go through, and it's like the smorgasbord, to use that really cliche term, but it is great.
Everything. Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, a bunch of stuff. So like you can essentially have like on the go lunches, nice premium dinners, guilt-free snacks. There's a bunch of add-ons. You can add stuff on. You can add smoothies on. You can add juices for like grabbing and going. I like doing that. There's a lot. So Factor is definitely a win-win. Whether you're working a lot or you work from home, you need something to take to work, you're just a little busy, it really covers everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also like it's summer. I don't want to be kind of slaving away over a hot stove. I want to just be eating and then just hanging out with my pals. And
making soup. You don't want to make summer soup over a hot cauldron.
Cauldron. But also, the one thing I do want to be eating all summer is the cheesy grits, because they are the cheddar grit things. They are so good.
Oh my God. A recommendation.
Yeah, seriously. If I could have those with every single Factor meal, I absolutely would. But anyway, we could go on and on. We're big fans of Factor over here. And if you want to get started, head over to factormeals.com/FPS50off and use code FPS50off. That is FPS50 off, which gets you 50% off plus free shipping straight to your door. That is code FPS50off at factormeals.com/FPS50off for 50% off plus free shipping. One more time, factormeals.com/FPS50off. Thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring this episode and keeping us well fed.
Next up, Summer Game Fest. The whole big live thing. Shout out to Lucy for being in it. That's insane.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley gave us a little shout out. Can you just play that now, Stu? Thank you very much.
Co-host of the Friends Per Second podcast.
He said our name.
He said our name.
He said the thing.
That's right.
I still need to
Say the
send you the
name,
soy
Jeff.
face. I need to send you guys the soy face picture that you guys
Yeah,
did.
we did the soy
It's
face. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
We were kind of like
Yeah.
up in like a balcony thing, and there were like lights behind us, so we knew
Yeah.
that maybe if we all like put our arms up, she would see us.
Yeah.
She
There
didn't,
is.
but
Oh.
we did the
pretty
pointing
accurate,
meme.
I think. I think we got it.
It's insanely
good.
accurate.
Yeah, like we have to
Like-
put, we'll send this, Stu, you could
Yeah,
post
you
this
could-
in. This is the
I'm just going to text
the
this to
soy.
Stu
What do you even
right
call
She's
now.
this
like a
photo?
dot on the stage when we're pointing at her, like, oh.
I'm just going to text it to Stu right now, no context.
But no, jokes aside, you honestly did a fantastic job. You
Yeah.
really crushed it. Couldn't have done any better.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great up there, and the right energy and right everything, and it was 10 out of 10. So congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it was.
What was it like? Tell us.
So-
Actually,
yeah.
we know some of what it was like. We want to hear some of the backstage gossip.
Let's just jump into it.
What did Mads Mikkelsen smell like?
I was stood next to Mads at one point. I offered him a bottle of water and he didn't need it. And I was like, hey.
the nervous bottle of water.
Yeah,
because
because
it always
I
works.
didn't know what to do. So I just
Sure.
a bottle of water.
Sure. He's like, have you got a cigarette?
You call this water?
Yeah.
Like, you know where I'm
Bottle of
from?
white wine.
No, it was just like, I just can't stress enough how much of a professional production it is. And the team, like, everyone was so welcoming, so lovely. Shout out to God, all of them. Like Kyle Bosman, I got to work with. Like he
Huge fan.
wrote it. And he got to work with me to make sure like the jokes, like people loved the stud joke. I want to make it clear that that was a Kyle Bosman joke. And I loved it. And
I actually watch his. I'm actually a patron supporter of Carl Bosman.
Yeah, I'm like a mega fan.
I actually, because he does his, what's it
fantastic.
called, the show?
it's
Final
I can't remember.
No,
it.
it's not
Can't
Kyle
remember the
Bosman.
name of
It's
Fuck, I can't even remember
Why
it.
can't I
but
remember it?
I watch it every
week.
I watch every week.
Yeah,
I
every
pay money
week.
for this. I don't know what I'm paying for.
But it's
Car
actually
horn honk.
it's actually
Honk.
it's extremely funny. It's him just like doing a thing, just talking about gaming
Topics, yeah.
bullshit in his own way, and really recommend checking it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Delayed
getting-
input.
Delayed input.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
Delayed all of us remembering the
Absolutely.
But no,
Change the name, Carl.
and just, you know, kind of being part of it and like having my own dressing room and having someone bring me up to stage and telling me what my mark is and when to be there.
Who had the next dressing room over, by the way?
Kojima,
And who had the next dressing room opposite him?
Mads. It was
Not bad company to be keeping.
well, that's the thing though, because of I didn't really see them
Sure.
like during rehearsals or anything because I was either on stage or whatever. And just like getting to be a part of announcing games and showing all that stuff was really, really cool. And even seeing some of like the teams here at Playdays and stuff, like they were just like, oh, we were really happy it was you, and
nice.
the reception was really nice. I had to stop looking at my phone because obviously I'd be on stage for a little bit and then sit and watch the feed for a bit, and I would be on my phone, like I was texting you all, and I was just like, I just saw because people were being so nice, and I thought that was, and I'm not, I don't know, it was just I've been very fortunate, even like this year especially. I've done a lot of cool stuff, like BAFTA, I did the Star Wars Celebration stuff. This just felt
for sure
really, really bloody nice. And so eternal gratitude. Jeff, you're probably watching. If not, then I'll send this
we're
to
still
you.
gonna we're still
I was
gonna be
gonna
like
say,
Jeff,
let's
Jeff,
not
we're
rate-
like
let's
Jeff,
not
it was a
rate the
shit show, Jeff. It sucked, Don't worry, we won't hold back.
But like genuinely, just to be on that stage and
Well,
was means
it was
the world,
cool
and I
to watch.
Think about it too. When you look up certain games or you read the Wikipedia of like the whole thing, it was announced at this. Games say announced at Summer Game Fest 20 blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like for a lot of those games, you were going to be the person that like first publicly helped usher that to everybody.
Yeah, it's nice.
So,
Be in the
Infinitesimals.
incredible.
Infinitesimals.
Just,
The name
you
that will
really
keep me
are.
up at night, but I did manage to say it correctly.
Even the
thank God.
developer got it wrong in the demo that I did with him.
Infinitesimals.
Yep, he stumbled over it. So you did it even better than the person who makes the game.
I didn't even know the name of the game beforehand, but I literally was watching you. And as soon as you like got halfway through the word, I was like, "Is she gonna stick it?" Like I was watching like Olympic gymnastics, and you did, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Did you notice that was the one? So I have to stay on my mark until the lights went out. That was the one that as soon as I said infinitesimals, I just left. Nice. I was like, I did it! Oh my God, I did it!
Scurries away.
But no, I mean, I genuinely, when I was on, Resident Evil closed the show, and I genuinely had not seen that trailer. And so I was, when Jeff was like, "Oh, she just saw it for the first time," I was like, "That's true. That was the first time I got to watch it," and I was kind of like, I kind of deduced what it was. I feel like you see RE Engine hair, and you're like, I don't know what that is. And it felt like in the audience, at least, though, it took people like quite a while to get it, and then that excitement was just kind of building, and it was a really cool ending. So overall, I mean, just an incredible thing to be a part of,
and it was one where the show was really good as well.
It actually was a good show.
Like, yeah.
I'm not just saying that because you were involved.
Yeah.
It was, and I think the general chatter online as well is actually quite satisfied with it. Because I mean, look, with it, there were no commercials in it.
Not
were
really.
there?
Not
Just
that's
some.
more Game Awards.
No, that's right. Exactly. It's the
This
Game
had some,
Awards.
like, anime games.
But like he still has to hire out the YouTube theater.
Yeah.
And he still has to, do all the stuff associated with that. So it's still a costly production.
Yeah, massive team.
And so, he somehow managed to pull it together because, obviously, I know he's charging a fair amount for the slots. Absolutely, he's clearly making enough on those slots that he doesn't need to then cram in like the Visa card ads or whatever. And the show is just the show is just so much better for it. And I think that there weren't, in terms of reveals. I mean, RE9 was obviously the big one, but throughout the show there were a number of really solid looking things that were interesting. It didn't feel like they were just putting stuff in there for the sake of it. A few too many gacha games, but that's a common complaint of most shows these days.
I feel like those kind of fill the slot of the adverts and that.
Yeah, a lot of anime.
You're probably right.
I also there was
You're probably right.
There was an advert for Resident Evil games.
That's true.
I mean, like it made more sense there. I was like, I'm not mad at that. That's fine.
The ultimate fake out of
that was something.
We'll talk about the future of Resident Evil soon.
Yeah.
20 minutes later.
I want you to know, Jeff, that did not work on me. At the moment it happened, I was like, bullshit.
Sure, Tam. Sure, absolutely.
But even Jake, I looked at him, I was like, no.
Yeah, it interesting show.
Yeah.
Definitely I liked that there was like consistent stuff that I was like, I want to play that. Not a lot of like, oh my God moments, but consistently a bunch of things that I wanted to play and then ending with a bang. So I was happy. But starting off, the first game revealed,
you guessed this one
right away.
You did.
I was like, Mortal Shell?
And then I'm like, no, that game didn't sell. Then I wouldn't make a sequel to that one.
I was like,
and I'm like, all right, fair enough. You're right.
Good trailer.
It was a nice trailer.
Cool.
I mean,
Happy to see it back.
I can't imagine this game actually, the first one was particularly successful. No one talks about it these days. It was kind of on the Epic store. I'm not sure if it was an Epic exclusive, but it was definitely Yeah, I think it was given away on the Epic Store a bunch of times. I know that.
It had a buzz going into it.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because it was like, it was a Souls-like at a time when
Yes.
everyone was doing Souls-like, but it had a unique hook on it.
Yes.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole shell thing.
It definitely found some people. Andrew at Game Ranks, who I work with, shout out. That was like he
He loves it,
He was
didn't he?
like, dude, Mortal Shell. I was like, no.
Okay. Fair enough.
So then I texted him right away. I was like, dude, Mortal Shell 2. He's like, no way, really? I was like, he's like, you're lying. I was like, no, it's real. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2 got a clip.
Yep. And your boy
Yeah.
came out. It was
Yep.
nice.
Yeah,
There's a giant picture of that character on there with the word Lucy on it, and I was like, yeah.
there she is.
I was gonna say
Double Lucy.
she's on the stage before I was.
It showed
That's right, yeah.
the new Solid Snake Man.
Again, just in an office having a conversation. Not
Yep.
really. If you know, like if you're on board, hell
Sure.
yeah. But
Yep.
if you have no idea what Death Stranding is, you're
that
like,
would have
what
been
is
a
this?
weird thing to watch.
Yeah.
You'd really, I agree with
Yeah.
you. But look, that game's out really soon. Review code for that game is already out, by the way.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're very confident. I played 30 hours of it in Japan because
Yep.
Kojima's like, yeah, I'm confident with this thing.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, look, I loved it. I'm really excited for it. And ready to go home to play it for sure.
Same. Ill is
Oh,
something
man.
that I was excited to see.
Ew, that
We've covered this quite a bit,
trailer.
and it was always kind of like, yeah, this game popped up on Steam. A lot of people wishlisted it, but like, is it really a game? Because it's just kind of like a cobbling of. Early on, it was a cobbling of like images and like half trailers and like just like test footage.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, full-fledged trailer, and it's like that concept has really come to life.
Apparently, the people leading it are like horror filmmakers, right? That's what I read.
that the case?
I think that's the
Wow.
case.
Oh.
And also, it's being published by Mundfish, who are the developers.
They showed up a lot this
They
year.
did because they had
Yeah.
like 3 games. They had this one, which they're publishing, The Cube, which is what if the
Did we learn nothing
what
from
if
Molyneux?
what if the open world of Atomic Heart
Was in a
was all
square.
there was, and it was an MMO,
Yeah.
which sounds like the worst fucking prospect in the world. Obviously, they're probably going to respond to a lot of the feedback. The open world in Atomic Heart was incredibly painful to deal with.
Yeah, it was the
for
worst part.
a variety of reasons. But look, the setting was kind of interesting in its own weird way.
Good trailer.
It was a cool trailer. I can see how this might work, but it's way too early to judge whether
Yeah.
or not it will work, you know?
Yeah,
Did
but
they say MMO?
They did say MMO.
That was the one thing where
That's
it was
crazy.
like, you went one thing too far there.
Yeah.
Because they were like,
Yeah.
multiplayer. And I was like, oh, yeah, I could see like things
Yeah.
moving around, shifting, and you got to like go over the edges. And when they were like, MMO, I was like, no,
Yep.
stop.
Atomic Heart 2, though, is something I didn't expect.
Oh, I
But
absolutely
that-
expected it.
Did you?
It was hugely successful.
I just feel like we just got Atomic Heart. Like, I feel like that just
No,
happened.
That was like, I remember I actually watched my review for that recently just on a whim because it just comes up in recommended. I'm like, hey, I
You just
remember
watch
that
your
video.
own.
I'm not even joking. I do that sometimes. Where it just
Patrick
comes up in
Bateman shit
recommended, and
then.
I'm like, what did I say about
That
that
happens to me.
game?
Yeah,
you
I
know,
do
and
that,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I didn't like this game. That's right.
That's right.
And Atomic Heart came up, and I watched it. That was like 3.5, 4 years ago now.
Wow.
A while. It was a while now.
Wow.
3
What?
years. I'm gonna say 3 years at least.
I
So
made that hole. I don't know where I was, but I made that hole before you buy in a hotel room.
nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Cool, right?
But look, I am honestly glad. I did think Atomic Heart had tons of really interesting ideas. I think a lot of them didn't land. I think it needs a really good editing pass. I think it needs to completely like reevaluate its approach to open world stuff.
Keep the artists. The
Keep
artists.
the
that's
artists,
incredible.
and also the melee combat and combat in general was really solid. There's a lot to work with there, and I'm actually kind of glad they're doing another one. I actually think I said that I did say that in the review. I'm like, yeah, I'll play the next one of this, but this one I don't like.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah. But it's cool they're doing a thing. They're getting
Yeah.
out there with their IP. They're supporting other published like other games. I like it.
Another one I didn't expect is Code Vein 2.
Oh yes, yeah. I understand.
Not a
Why am I saying it
Everyone
like
is
that?
just
big
silent.
Why am I
big
saying it
Code
like that?
Vein
'Cause
people.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I've never played Code Vein, but like I think when I saw that it was Code Vein 2, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I feel like that one kind of found its audience.
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit.
got an audience. People
Yeah.
really like it.
Was that a big Game Pass one? I feel like it was.
I feel like it was actually.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
could have
it rings a
been.
bell.
definitely on. Yeah,
Mm.
but and it's anime Souls like,
Mhm.
right? Like,
It is,
and this feels like it's doing more of that.
yeah.
Yep.
I didn't. It wasn't for me, but I know a bunch of Code Vein fans, so good for you.
For sure.
You were kind of like into, or at least you were like aware of War for Westeros.
That one is
Oh,
being
that's
made.
that's the big Game
the
of Thrones
RTS
one.
It's
right?
game. It's being made by an Aussie studio called Playside, and they don't really play in the big end of town very much. And they're trying to make more of a splash there. They unveiled their Mouse PI game.
Oh, that was too.
That's them, exactly
Oh.
right. Yeah, well, that's them publishing it.
Right.
And it's got now Troy Baker involved in it because every game needs to have Troy Baker in it. And look, I think the mouse PR game looks fantastic because I actually was following that one since it was just Twitter clips.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
It's come
this
a long
It's
way.
come a long way. It looks great. I'm really into it. The West. I'm like, I'll be honest with you. When there's no gameplay, I don't know what to say. Do you know, like I'm glad that they're making an RTS game. Firstly, I think it could be really interesting with Game of Thrones. I'm into that, but until you show me some gameplay, it's hard to say. I'm really glad it's an Australian team is making this kind of game, though. We do not have enough developers playing in this space, and I really respect that they're trying to do that for sure.
Do you think there's a lot of overlap between Game of Thrones fans that specifically identify with the TV show and RTS playing game? Like, I feel like if you're making that kind of game with
My
that
uncle.
IP,
Definitely my uncle. Yeah.
one sale guaranteed. If you're making that kind of game with that IP, like surely you're like, oh, we're banking on to some level the fandom around this game being interested. But like,
I'm going to guess that Lord of the Rings fans were really into the art. I only played a little bit of the RTS back in the day. I'm going to guess that did well. Those RTS games.
Battle for Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, got a
Yeah.
sequel.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I can see how this also
mean,
makes sense.
the three Lord of the Rings movies ended very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
And
tough,
Game of
man.
Thrones did not, so
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Devil's Advocate, we did get the Hobbit movies.
That's also true.
Yeah, I guess so, but like-
But that was, they besmirched post Battle for Middle Earth.
for me, like once we got to the end of Game of Thrones, I was like, I'm never thinking about this thing ever
Yeah, I
again.
know what you mean.
So, like-
I actually went back to try to do a rewatch, and I watched like the first 2 episodes. And I'm like, I can't.
I
All I
love-
can,
I know
think,
where
all
this
I can think
goes.
about is the ending. That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I love not knowing like barely anything about.
You
Game
never
of
watched
Thrones.
it?
Nope.
Oh,
I watched the
man.
first season. I had read some of the first book,
Sure.
but I watched the first season. They killed Sean Bean, and I was like,
Sure.
that seems like a good time to stop watching.
Imagine.
That's what many people said about Last of Us Part 2. Pedro Pascal, he's dead. I'm out, man. I'm out. Sorry, spoiler alert for anyone. Look, I think we've passed the statute of limitations on
Yeah,
that
it's
event.
been 5
Okay,
years.
it's fine.
We passed it before the game even came out.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's so true.
Oh man. Stranger Than Heaven. This is crazy.
What is
Which one was
this
that?
one?
This is the RGG one.
Oh, yeah.
Project
Yeah.
Sentry. Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Project Sentry is now officially announced as Stranger Than Heaven.
But they changed the year as well, right? Because
That's
it
fucking
was
crazy.
it
They
was
just
like
changed the time
20
period.
years earlier, and then
Like,
it was like,
what?
no, it's 1940s.
They're like, we got
something
the
now.
assets. It's fine. Just tweak them around. That's what we do.
But unless it's a game that spans the whole century, we don't really know much about it.
That's true.
True.
Yeah, that's right up my alley. I like the Yakuza brawlers
Ooh,
and the style, everything.
There was a crazy amount of detail
Yes.
in that environment. I was
Yeah.
like, the last time I saw that amount of detail was RGG showing off Virtua Fighter.
Mhm.
I was like, what
Yeah.
are they doing with that engine, man?
It looks like a lot of like contextual stuff too now, like
Yeah.
like throwing guys into like walls and like flipping them over a bridge and stuff like that. So
Mm.
yeah, definitely high on my list. Animusha Way of the Sword got a new trailer. I think we're gonna actually talk about that more
We will.
in a
In a
later
little bit.
section.
Okay, let's do that.
But felt that boxing.
That was like
You were
reveal of the
freaking
show.
out, man.
That
This
was the
is- yeah, yeah.
reveal
You
of
were
the show.
laughing your
Yeah.
I
ass
thought that
off.
was a fun. I don't understand how anyone wasn't with me on
Oh,
that
it
one.
was very
Punched in the
funny. It was
face.
very
He's
funny.
I thought it was so good. I don't know. I guess I grew up on the Muppets, so I'm just like super into it. Maybe I'm like me and Jeff. We're the
Yeah.
same. We're puppet guys.
It was a great
But I
trailer.
was like
Puppet
super
guys.
into it. I loved it so much. I can't wait. I think it looks so good. It's literally Mike Tyson's Punch Out with the
With
Muppets.
puppets.
Yeah.
With like dirty mouthed Muppets. you
It looks
know?
real too.
It
like I don't know
does.
how they did it.
They're like, oh, this is running in like it. And I'm like, okay, how did you pull that off?
Yeah, impressive.
So it was very good. I liked it.
Killer Inn. This
This is that one of the social deduction ones that was
Yes.
like, I looked at that and I'm like, nah, I'm okay. No disrespect to that team, but I'm not into those games. So God bless.
I'm just running through. Arc Raiders got a release date.
Yeah, okay.
October
That's
30th.
another thing. Just
That's
FYI, just so you know, there was like that's a drama because there was a timer that
Oh,
was discovered,
yes.
and it was like it was counting down to the minute of the game reveal. That was discovered in the game executable, and so everyone's like, "Cool, it's gonna shadow drop. Let's go, boys. Let's fucking do this." And then Embark knew this was happening. By the way, they all knew this chatter, and then obviously the reveal comes out. It's not out till October 30th. And then everyone's like, yo, what the fuck? And then Embark puts out this like thing like, we're very sorry we caused so much confusion, blah, blah, blah. You knew what you were doing, man.
Yeah.
You saw the chatter. If it wasn't going to happen, just put out a little tweet being
Yeah.
like, we have a date, but just so you know it. Like, just.
Yeah.
So I think that was a bit cheeky by half. Having said that, I think Arcade looks amazing. I'm actually really excited. And I personally was very bummed it didn't shadow drop because I would love to go back home and play it right now.
At
So.
the very least, Lies of P Overture got a shadow drop.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I've
That's
been
nice.
playing
You guys
that.
have played that quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, review went up as soon as they shadow dropped it. It's very good. I
It's
like it
very
a lot.
good.
I've said this many times. Lies of P is the only Souls like that
The one you fuck with, yeah.
I will fully endorse and put my weight behind. And the DLC is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think.
That's very, very good.
Yep.
Really enjoying it.
What's Acts of Blood?
Acts of Blood is the not Sifu, but Sifu like.
Oh, okay. I literally don't even remember
It's
that
like
one.
a small team.
Okay.
Oh, the
Oh, I do
Malaysian
remember that
game.
one now.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
do remember
They're
that
just
one.
a guy
Yep.
kicking people's asses in hallways.
Is it Indonesia?
Is it? I thought it was Malaysian. It's either Malaysian or
I
Indonesia.
think it was
one of them.
Indonesia
You might
from
be right,
memory.
yeah.
Yeah. So it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean that was previously I think announced or like
Okay.
shown somewhere, but yeah, it looks really cool.
cool.
Atomic Heart we already hit. Mio, Memories, and Orbit.
Yep.
That's like a little Metroidvania.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Out of Words.
We're gonna come back to that.
Yep.
Okay, because you
Yeah.
guys saw that.
We'll
Yeah.
come back to that.
Same with End of Abyss.
Yeah.
Come back
Lego
to that.
Voyagers.
That one is the one where it's built from the build team, right? That little
Yes.
that
Yeah.
Lego
looks
Builders.
really lovely
Yeah.
and
It
just
does.
like nice and chill. It's like they've already made 2 games like that before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you
did.
play as
Make
the little
another one.
bricks. It's a
Yes,
co-op.
I was into
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
I also
for sure.
think that Lego. It's always nice seeing Lego stuff without IP.
Yeah.
last at all.
Yes.
True.
Kinda
Because
reminding
gotta
you,
remember
like-
Lego Dimensions.
Yes, yeah, just regular old simple Lego. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. That's
Yep.
what this is all about, man.
Yep.
Fractured Blooms. I think that's up some people's alley.
Yes,
Definitely.
I was actually quite intrigued by that. He was like Doki Doki meets Silent Hill.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I think that looked really kind of interesting, and I was like,
Yes.
"All right, cool, I'll give this a crack." Yeah,
I love a messed up.
I
story, 'cause
actually thought of you when I was watching. I was like, "I think this could be a Lucy game."
Well, because I was standing with Celia from Yacht Club
Right.
because she was about to go on to talk about Mina the Hollower, and she was saying that she knows the team who made
Okay.
that, and she was like, she really liked their previous games. So she was like, you'd like them. So I was like,
Okay.
making desperate notes.
Nice.
Did you watch the presentation? Like, are you like behind staring up at the giant screen? Like, how did you see the
I had
games?
I had a little seat and I had a program feed, so
Oh,
I
cool.
saw that way.
Wow.
That's
Did
nice.
the chair have like your name on the back of it?
No,
That would have
That's
been cool.
cool.
Anyway.
I wish.
Yeah, Mina the Hollower. We got to look at that
Yep.
from
Release
the Shovel
date?
Knight people. Release date, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not really my thing in terms of like
I don't love that style.
that era brought back.
Yeah.
It's very hit. Like it's got a really hit. Like certain times I like it. Like we'll get into it, but
Sure.
yeah. Deadpool VR.
Pooh, yeah.
So
Did that one already get announced?
no,
that was
this
the
a
first
release,
announcement,
yeah.
I actually have quite a bit to say about this one.
Do you
Oh,
now?
yeah.
Go
Yeah.
on, tell us.
Are you
Tune in.
Deadpool enjoyer?
Did you play
tune
it?
in later in the podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
you played
Yep,
it.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay,
Oh,
I actually
okay.
want to hear
Yep,
that.
I played it
Is
early
it
in the
Neil
morning.
Patrick
Didn't eat
Harris
breakfast.
is the voice?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
What happened, man? Seriously?
Neil Patrick Harris pretending to be Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so.
Like-
And as I listened to it, I'm like, it sounds like if AI was trying to do Ryan Reynolds. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't care for Neil Patrick Harris because of. Do you remember the Amy Winehouse thing he did?
I remember
Oh, the
Amy
cake?
Winehouse, but I don't know what he
That
did.
was fucking.
What
Like,
did he do?
So she dies when, like in October 2007 or
Sure.
something. For Halloween that year, he throws a Halloween party and
Mm.
he has a cake made of a zombie dead Amy Winehouse.
Oh my
It's like
god!
weird edgy humor, like to the
Weird
insane
edgy
degree.
That is weird.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Especially
Yeah.
from him. Like,
Sure,
it's a
really-
very
he
He seems
really
like
is.
a normal guy, right? That
No,
seems like an
he's-
incredibly fucked up move.
Yeah.
Doctor Horrible for real.
Damn, man.
For real? Oh my god, Dr. Horrible.
Jurassic World Evolution 3 is one that I'm glad they're still doing these things.
Are you?
People play them. They're
Remember
cool.
what
No,
I
really.
turned to you and said?
What?
You said that's right, you're
I
like,
just turned to him. I went, I'm going to say it. No more Jurassic Park.
He's like, I'm done with Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
No more Skyrim.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
You agreed at that time. You were
I
like,
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
I don't want to see the new one with Scarlett Johansson. It looks boring.
No, I agree. Yeah.
I didn't even know
No,
she was in
fuck
it.
that.
I didn't even know there was a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She plays a dinosaur.
She plays a dinosaur
She's
killer.
bigger than all of them on the post. So she does look big. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mixtape, we got a new look at that.
Has anyone played that?
I'm so into that. Can I say?
Okay, I'm
'Cause,
not.
like I guess it's like an age bracket thing, but like that actually speaks to me personally.
It
They say,
feels
like
made up.
Devos on the.
I was like, nobody had a
the
childhood like that.
soundtrack, and I was like,
I had
yeah.
a lot on there.
So
I thought you would like it for the soundtrack.
It is.
actually.
It is on. It's out there, and
It's playable, yeah.
What do you mean it's playable?
It's playable, I think. On
Yeah,
the
it's
show.
On the show
Yeah,
floor.
yeah,
I know. I have a
yeah.
booking tomorrow.
Okay, cool,
Yeah, I'm
Damn
actually
it.
kind of really interested in it.
I've
to be
heard
honest.
nothing but people were like, "This is the best game here."
I think I saw Greg
I-
Miller
I mean,
posting
I-
up big.
Yeah, Greg,
big on it, yeah.
one of our guys,
But maybe
Mark-
it's also an age bracket thing with him too.
Maybe,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
one of
Like,
our guys,
what
Mark
are you,
was
like,
like
45?
came out and he said, "I can't stop smiling."
yeah, I
And I was
mean,
like,
I honestly, from the moment I saw it, it just seems so joyful because it's also from the people that did Artful Escape.
Oh, yeah,
which I
but-
loved.
oh,
I
Which is
did
like
love the
that,
shit
that
out of
team
that.
just knows what they're doing, and now they've got this really cool premise. I don't see how they can fail, but I don't know, man. There's not much buzz behind it, and I have seen some like negative sentiment. I don't know. I'm looking forward to that one.
I
So.
like the art style.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
yeah.
Dying Light the Beast, we'll probably talk about
We will
more.
talk about that one.
Oh,
Okay,
you
cool.
played it?
We'll definitely talk about that one.
Scott Pilgrim EX, that was a big surprise.
That's cool.
That is very cool to see.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really liked
I-
the.
Remember
old
what I said
game.
when Scott Pilgrim came up?
No More Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah,
Yes,
so you also
exactly that.
said
I was
that's
like,
his whole
I bet
line.
That's
this whole
been the
time.
world. It's been like, no, we haven't had any. So yeah, it's a new brawler.
And
great.
Managuchi.
And Managuchi's back.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yep.
That's good. It's like a lot of people definitely were
Mhm.
dying for that. Wildgate.
Yeah, that's
The
the one that
fuck is that?
Austin did a preview on. It's the Dreamhaven one. It's the
Oh,
one with
from-
the.
is that the
it's
Mike
like Sea of Thieves
Morhaime?
in space.
Is that the Mike Morhaime one?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. And he raves about it. He says it's fantastic. And was that shadow dropped or it's out soon? No, it's out
Soon.
soon. It's
Yeah.
like 2 weeks or whatever. But yeah, he couldn't get enough of it. He says it's fantastic. Absolutely has the sauce. So
Wasn't
yeah.
there already a game called Wildgate or something?
No,
similar?
Wild Star.
Wild
Heart.
Star.
Yeah.
Very different.
That's
Very
very-
cool. Rest in peace. We miss you.
Wild
Yeah.
Hearts as
Yeah.
well. Is
Wild
good.
Hearts was
Yeah.
that other one. Actually, also rest in
Mhm.
peace. We miss you. Very
I
good
forgot.
game.
That's the Monster Hunter one.
It was the
EA
Monster Hunter one that was
Hunter.
actually very good, except it was
Yeah.
buggy as all
Wait,
fuck.
The box stacking game?
Yep.
Okay.
It was actually very good. Yep.
Blighted. How do you feel about this? This is Drinkbox's
Let's
new
say
one.
we'll talk about that one later.
Okay, you've touched
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
I've touched
Cool.
that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Infinite.
Infinitesimals. We have to talk about that.
Infinitesimals.
And we have to talk about that one later as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Street Fighter 6.
There's new
Street Fighter
characters?
Year 6
Yep,
characters.
new
Sorry,
characters. Cool.
Yeah.
Cigar's finally in it.
It's everybody.
Yep.
Everybody you want. Right.
Yep. Kenny Omega was the fun part of that. Like he's in a locker room getting his ass beat by different Street Fighter characters
was cool.
and
That's a
turning
good
into them,
idea.
that kind of stuff. It was fun, yeah.
Last Flag.
That is the
Capture the
game from the
Flag.
Imagine Dragons. Imagine Dragons guy and his brother or something.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's basically the studio is founded by someone from the Imagine Dragons band and like their brother or something like
Imagine
that.
Games.
Imagine Games, right? So yes, there was this, and look, it looks fun. It looks fine. I don't really have any other thoughts on it.
Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver. So this is cool. This is really cool. At first, I didn't know what it was, and like at first, I was like, what is this?"
I was like this. I knew it was coming. I just was like,
Yeah. Because
Looking
for
at
a
Jake.
second, like my brain like scrambled, and I was like, "Is it like a Def Jam?" It's not,
Yeah.
but it's absolutely the next best thing.
yeah.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah,
not
really
like
cool.
we don't know a ton about it.
Yeah, they just
but-
said it's an action game
Presented by Ghostface.
presented by Ghostface. You're just going to find the members of the Wu-Tang Clan. They've gone missing, and you got to find them. And
Are you a bad enough dude to
Are you
rescue
to
the
save the
Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang? Yeah, and like it's really cool. There's like loads of little touches in there. Like they use like a sample from Mystery of Chess Boxing, and if you watch the trailer, like they are on the level is a chessboard, which is like a reference to the music as
Oh,
well.
that's cool.
And like that's why when they came out, I was like, if it has 36 levels, 36 chambers, like there's so much potential there. And like the Wu-Tang Clan built their mythology to be very like that kind of adaptable thing. Like it's they were inspired by kung fu movies and Shaolin and that kind of stuff, and that just translates so well to music and movies and games. And finally, they're getting another shot at the game stuff.
Yeah, because
So-
they've been in the game world in the past.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
apparently they've been trying to get something made like this or sort of like this for a while now. So
Yeah,
it's cool
yeah.
that it's
We
What's
interviewed I interviewed a couple of people from Brass Line and put a video up, and they clearly they know what they're doing, and they have a love for Wu-Tang as well. So, and also the Wu-Tang Clan's currently doing their like final tour, so it like ties into
and they're
that.
showing the trailer at the
Yep,
tour,
yep.
which is so cool.
Awesome.
The last big thing in that show was Resident Evil Requiem, but that's another one that we saw, and we're going to talk about more in a little bit. But for now, another word from a sponsor.
Raycon.
That's what they say.
That's what
When
they
you
say.
turn
Don't
on-
anymore.
They don't anymore. Actually, that was the old version that you boot
Wait.
up the Raycon that used to do that. But now the new versions, the everyday earbuds, they don't do that, which is partly a downgrade because I actually used to love that. But they compensate by adding all new features, right, Jake?
Oh yeah, yeah, big time. Active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, a quick charge functionality. These things are like fully loaded now, and it's great because you get all these features, but not at like an exorbitant, crazy price. You know, like if you're comparing to the other premium wireless audio brands, this really
Sure.
is a bargain, but it's good. You're not sacrificing quality.
Yeah, and also it's summer, so there's going to be a lot more going outside, which is not my
Ew,
favorite
gross.
thing.
Not for me. Too
Not
many
my
games.
favorite thing. However, in an attempt to get more vitamin D in my life, I am making a concerted effort to be walking around outside, getting some sun. Maybe not a tan, like look at me, but the whole time I will be listening to my podcasts, my audiobooks, my weird stories about what it's like to have the plague, my little sleep stories. And to do that, I am using
really
Raycon.
happy, entertaining stuff.
Yeah,
Very
you know
nice.
me.
It's good in the summer too because they do have some sweat resistance as well. So you're
Oh, do they?
covered.
I actually didn't even
Yeah.
know that for real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I always talk about the fact that they actually stay in my ear as well. I have gigantic Dumbo-sized ears that are hidden by the cups of these headphones right now, but my ears are actually the size of these headphones, believe it or not. That's how big they are. So Raycons actually do stay in where many other brands do not. We've been a big fan of them for a long time. They're a huge supporter of the channel. If you need yourself a very good value pair of earbuds, we really do recommend checking them out. You can go to buyraycon.com/friends or buyraycon.com/friends to get 15% off your order of the everyday earbuds. That's buyraycon.com/friends, 15% off. Big thanks to Raycon for sponsoring the video. Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so.
Don't eat the Raycons. Stop doing that every time. That's not brand friendly.
It is. I asked.
And we're back. Let's talk about Xbox. Quite a presentation, a lot of stuff. We'll kind of go roughly in order, I think, right? Let's just rattle through it. High on Life 2, I did not expect. That opened the show.
Also did not expect.
It's got a skateboard now.
That's
I actually
good.
think
It's
that's
got
the
a bow and
perfect.
arrow now.
Yeah, it does. I think it's the perfect fit for that. I'm into it. I actually like that game. I think people weren't okay. Look, obviously, if you don't like Rick and Morty humor, you were never gonna like that game. But that game also came out at a time when all the stuff with Justin Roiland was
Justin
coming out,
Roiland.
and then people were like not sure if they were allowed to like that game,
Oh,
even
no,
if
no,
they
no.
did like it. You know what I mean?
No. I think I've said this. Sorry if I'm
You
repeating
have,
this,
yeah.
but like The Besties is my favorite video
Sure.
game podcast, and I got
Shout
to be
out.
on for the first time, and we did the whole episode on High on Life, and then the next fucking day, Justin Roiland gets done.
Nice.
And so
Okay.
it was literally the thing where we were all very positive about it, but Ross had to put up a, hey everyone, just so you know, we recorded this before.
But it was a good game, man. I had a good time with it. I actually like Rick and Morty humor as well, so I'm like the target market.
So what's
But-
up? Is he back? Is he back making the new one?
No,
or what?
I think he got out.
He's out, man.
They got
They
rid
got
of
rid of
him before that game was even
Yeah,
out.
they did. He
Yes.
basically
because he was on his press tour. He
Yeah.
was doing the press tour for the game.
That's right.
I
That's
got an
right.
email being like, he's nothing to do with us, leave him alone.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
What, did he
That's
kill someone? What did he do?
it. We're not going into that now. He didn't kill anyone.
Okay. I missed that one. This winter. Which
was that?
Oh, sorry.
That's
That's the date. That's the date.
Which one was that? Nice.
said it like
Yeah, and I was
it's
like,
winter.
I don't remember that one either. Was I in the bathroom then?
I havenent listed that the High on Life 2 is coming this
I love that
winter.
you went in and went, line break.
Look at the thing; it's the only one that's got a
That's true. That's
library.
true. Resonance, a Plague Tale legacy.
Yes.
I did not expect
So-
this.
Oh, I love Plague Tale.
I do love Plague Tale. I'm not sure how I feel about like what if Plague Tale but Assassin's Creed. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I really like that kind of overwrought emotional thing. I like the setting of it, the time, like the being set where it was. Look, I'm open to something. I'm open to something new, But I don't know. I'm just at this point. I'm like, you got to show me a bit
Was
more.
there a
'cause
single rat in there?
I was really upset.
Exactly.
Not
A
one.
rat, a lot. That's what I need. I need a lot of rats.
Yes.
I like the games they make.
Yes.
So like I like that they're doing something different. It's not like what I think of when I think of Plague Tale though. Like, but
Where's
I'm
the
curious
plague?
to see. Yeah,
Where are the tails?
exactly.
Yeah.
But also it had like the lasso of truth.
Yes.
Did you
I was
notice that
so
the whole
confused
trailer?
about that.
What
So
is that?
confused
I thought
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was gonna go like.
Me too. The Snyder Cut's so funny, man. Every time she's on that song, it's so good. Absolutely.
Kalel, no.
Max Rock, give me the stone.
Give me the stone.
You know what I've started listening to? A very quick aside, as we're talking about Plague Tale. I found this really weird niche of YouTube called like boring history to help you to sleep.
Okay.
But I found this podcast where it's just like first person accounts of you being a plague victim in medieval times and what it would be
You're gonna
like.
sleep
You know,
for that?
even when I-
And then the last 2 hours of the podcast are just fire crackling sounds.
Oh my god!
You know what I saw the other
Thing is,
day?
it works.
Wow.
I've been listening to
First
it.
person account. It's like here comes my doctor.
Oh no!
Why is
first
he
person,
dressed
sorry.
like that?
Oh, first person. Sorry, more
The
just
fire
like
crackling is when they set fire to the house because the plague is out of control.
Like the
It's
thing,
just
is, the thing is as well, I'm actually like, if anyone knows, I'm actually quite suspicious about this because there's a YouTube channel called like Sleepless Historian. The podcast is called Drowsy Historian, and they have the same logo. And then the whole episodes, I don't know if it's the same because the voices are different. And they're all the bizarre food of the Aztecs. Why you wouldn't survive a medieval plague ship. And it's just, I don't know, it feels weird. And there's no
it looks horrified.
there's no trail. I can't figure it out, but it does.
Like
help
if
me
these things
get
are
to
connected.
sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell if someone's ripping off the other one or if it is if they are one
the same.
brand. Yeah,
You
it's
know what
weird.
I saw the other day? I saw this clip of like an AI video of someone doing like the street interviews, except with like medieval peasants. Being like, how's your day today? It's like, oh yeah, my nan died of plague yesterday. Sorry to hear that. So unfortunately, sometimes AI is good.
Me lord needs more grain.
Unfortunately, sometimes it's good.
There is, and we'll get back to exorcism. There is a really good TikTok series where it's a guy he's dressed up like he's in medieval times and he's a knight, and he pretends that he's live streaming on Twitch.
Oh yeah,
And
he's so
What?
good.
And they have a
He's
fake
so
chat,
good.
and it's like, "Hey guys, we're coming at you. It's like day 3 of the siege, and
He's
but,
so
they
good.
have-
Three of the
He's so
sieges.
good.
they have like the chat, and they have recurring characters, and one of them's called Gort the Serf, and so Gort's like, "Yeah, go on, my lord, I'm really happy for you," and then they're all just like, "Gort, get back to work. Those fields aren't going to plow themselves."
Oh
It's
god,
very,
It's
very
very
good.
funny.
bless.
Anyway,
All right,
The
let's
next thing they
continue.
revealed is the ROG Xbox Ally.
Yeah, we can talk about that now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually went hands on with that.
Me as well.
Oh, cool, excellent.
Touched it.
What'd you think?
I actually was really into it.
Okay, tell me
really
why.
into it. I like what they're doing with the unification, and so essentially, this device will allow you to take advantage of all your libraries:
I love
Steam, GOG.
wait, so Armory Crate is gone?
Armory
Armory
Crate's
Crate's
still there.
So it's a really interesting
no.
collaboration because
No,
it's
but
still
like, yeah,
very
it's different.
ASUS,
It's different.
but it's very like front facing Xboxy,
Yeah.
like Windows storefront type of thing, and it runs Windows, but not Windows like how you would expect. Like bad.
How it's running on ROG
The
right
most
now.
important thing to understand about this device is that when it boots, it doesn't load most of Windows. It
Yeah.
only loads what it needs to be able to
okay.
play the dash
To click on
and
games,
then to
yeah.
let you boot games. So like the taskbar doesn't load. A lot of the drivers and shit that you're not going to be like a lot of stuff that you don't need won't load, and that frees up the RAM
Mhm.
for everything else. It also increases decreases boot time. It also is better for hibernation mode.
Yeah, because
Did you-
sometimes my ROG Ally now
No, they've
will fully
They
just
said that
shut
they've
down
completely
Did you see it
changed
go
that.
from off to booted?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
So it's possible they're lying.
Because the ROG and ROG Ally X take a while.
They do
Yeah.
take a while, right? So I mean, we will need to test it to
Okay.
see what it is. But as a concept, it does make a lot of sense that that's what you would do to reduce those boot
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
And that's great, you know.
I'm
So-
on board. Yeah, it seems very high end. Like it's going to be expensive.
Oh, well, there's two
Screen's very
models.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
There's a
a
cheaper
smaller
model,
one.
but the one you really want is going to be
It's
like
gonna be the
I
X.
I'm expecting like that like $800 plus price point, you know, like because this thing has like a 120 hertz 1080p screen, It's got like 32 gigabytes of RAM. I think the top model has 1 terabyte hard drive.
Yes.
It's got
Debut AMD.
So they have-
chip.
a debut AMD Z2 chip. It's a good piece of kit.
So they have hardware differences from a standard ROG.
They
Ally
do.
and
They
Ally.
do.
Oh,
They're
okay,
not.
cool.
It's not
That-
like I don't. Look again. I don't want to speak because I don't know yet. My sense is it's not like a generational leap, but it's a notable leap, and also it's going to result in more battery efficiency. Plus, there's more battery. Like
Interesting that they didn't highlight that while they were showing it.
they just kept it on the high level.
Yeah.
The specs were available online straight after that,
Yeah.
though. You could see that stuff.
There was also confirmation. I mentioned this to you earlier. There's confirmation that software is coming to the existing Ally and Ally X.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is good.
Thank
For sure.
God.
That's good.
But that software will go to all handhelds. That category is wide open.
Yeah.
At that point, the only thing that they won't have is an Xbox button, but they'll just have their own version of it. So look, it's a smart play. I'm really interested to see, how it goes. I mean, I think that the Steam Deck is getting a bit older in terms of its capabilities. And obviously it's also locked down because, unless you want to sideload Windows, you can't play everything on it. Notably, you can't play Game Pass games. You can't play Destiny, anything with like easy anti-cheat, all that sort of stuff, kernel level stuff. So there's a market for this for sure. But I look, it's important to remember there are 150 million Switch units. There are 4 million Steam Decks, just by comparison, to show you how big a difference there is in the handheld market between the two, right? So Nintendo owns this category like 100 times over. And then within that, people estimate that maybe there's 1 million ROG Allies if we're lucky. So they still have a lot of ground to catch up. Would I buy this device over a Steam Deck? Personally, no, because I'm very juiced into my Steam library and I'm extremely satisfied with my deck.
Yeah.
But if I was stepping into the market for the first time and I already had an existing Xbox library, this is a compelling case for it, especially with Game Pass.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I'm like
That's
ride or
interesting.
die.
I feel like if I'm also very into my Steam library. However, I also do use my Epic Games library for like free games. I also play a lot of stuff on Game Pass, and I just I as soon as I got the ROG Ally, I don't think I've turned on my Steam Deck. Since.
Yeah, my Ally X is my daily driver.
Sure.
I use it, but I take my Steam Deck OLED on like travel.
Yeah, for me, I mean, there's a million. We won't get
it's just
too
too
deep in the
bulky.
weeds.
Too bulky.
Oh, I love
Steam
that
Deck.
though. I love the size of it, the ergonomics, and that's the other thing. The ergonomics on this are much improved because it's got
it's
2
bulky.
handles.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So-
like what if the Duke controller was a handheld?
So you know
what
what's
I mean?
funny?
Feels
I
good.
have that exact setup because I bought
Yeah.
a 3D printed like hand
Like the
grip
grippy?
from Etsy, and when I saw them, I was like, oh, I already have that.
Yep, for
That's
sure.
good. So you're good. You're set.
Yeah,
I'm still
yeah.
getting one.
I'm like ride or die Steam Deck, but I was like, oh, this is the first other one
Yeah.
that I think is interesting.
I'm excited for with triggers, the impulse triggers.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt really good. So I played a lot of Gears of
We
War
played Gears on it,
Reloaded.
yeah.
I had a frame counter on mine.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I
I
was
put
seeing
it
like
up there.
75 frames
Correct.
per second.
Exactly right it was.
And
But I
it
mean,
looked
also that game is
Resolution.
old.
It is, but it's running a lot of new shit. Like it's like sharper. It's like
Yeah,
like
no,
new
I agree.
textures and stuff.
But that's not the new remaster. That we were playing the old remaster, just so you know.
What?
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
playing
there's
the
a-
original Gears 1 remaster, not the new remaster.
There's the second remaster is much more.
Yeah, the second remaster looks totally different.
Well, I played that too.
You didn't play it. Oh, you played it on the handheld?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
right.
Oh.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then I played
okay.
it on. I played
Got
it on
it, got
PS5 as well.
Oh,
It
nice.
was so weird to play Gears of War
On
on a
PS5.
DualSense. I
Yeah.
got used to
Yeah.
it pretty quick, but it was just so weird.
Sure.
You know, it's like just something you're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
But yeah. So interesting. Really curious to see how that goes. That's
Yep.
going to be coming out apparently this holiday.
Holiday.
So
And it's Silk Song.
yeah.
They leaned into that. They were very smart. They're
That's-
like, we know people want to play Silk Song in a handheld. Look what we got. We're smart. Yeah.
The Blood of Dawnwalker. We
Yeah.
got a little bit of gameplay.
Yes.
And
So
I
stoked for
am
that.
loving it.
We've had the narrative director on this very podcast. It was a
Yes.
really fascinating chat. Go back and
Yeah.
look at that one if you have it.
I made a note of that book that he even talked
Oh, I
about.
bought it.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Did
nice.
Yeah.
you read it?
Then I
Yeah.
got it. I was like, the words are really small.
But that looks honestly, it's just even the music. Like, the music is so Witcher. It's funny.
Oh, even
Yeah.
the title treatment, I was like,
everything,
okay.
everything. They know what they're doing, and I'm okay with it. Let's put it that way.
Environments, though, the looks of characters, like I was like, this is what I want. Like a
Yes.
Yeah,
vampire
dude.
game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I love like Vampire the Masquerade and stuff like that, but like I want to like do like old shit around. I like want to creep around castles. And, like,
Yes,
stuff.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
really, really promising.
Mm.
Super Meat Boy, I did not expect to see return. This is Super Meat Boy 3D.
I'm not good enough to play these games.
They're tough.
They're
They're
really
really
tough.
tough.
I admire anyone who can.
It's not my. It's not how I like to spend my time on that kind of game.
I'll
So-
watch it at GDQ.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly
it's
right. I'm
intense.
glad it exists for those.
This is. I don't think it's the same developer though.
Is it
correct me if
not?
I'm wrong.
No,
I don't
no,
know.
it's
No.
a different. It's because it seemed like they were remaking the original game in 3D.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
That's what
All
I
right.
was like.
Fair. I didn't
Oh,
know that.
okay.
I thought it was a whole new thing.
No,
Okay.
I might be wrong there, but it seemed like it was a remake of it.
That's slated for early 2026. We also
Are
got.
you sure that's not a separate game?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Actually, it was the
That's
best
next up,
joke.
early 2026.
God
What is
damn
that? Ninja Gaiden 4. We got a new trailer highlighting a lot of good stuff.
Can't look. That was actually playable at the thing, but I didn't have a booking. It was playable at the Xbox thing.
Oh,
Correct.
the fuck?
Did you play it?
I did not play it.
What the hell?
unfortunately.
I know, right? I'm actually like, why didn't I get a
I
booking
picked
for
a
that?
different game.
Yeah. So I would have liked to have played it because I think the proof is in the pudding with that one
Mm.
because Platinum's been through stuff and
Yeah.
it's been a while. Like, I don't know. So
Been a while.
fingers crossed, but it's a bit too early to judge that one until we play it.
It's coming October 21st, though.
Yep.
Indiana Jones Order of Giants DLC. I didn't expect this, but I'm very
yeah.
excited.
Nice.
This is cool. This is coming in September. It's I guess in Rome, and you go into underground caverns and you do like Roman and like Christ shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you punch a
Christ
big man.
shit.
You punch a big man. Once
Yeah,
again.
I'm glad they're doing.
You do that in the main game.
If
Punch a big man.
hopefully
I did punch a big man.
hopefully they maybe if it is like you're focused on giants again, they like kind of like up the like
Size.
how you fight them. Yeah,
Yeah, true.
because I'd say like fighting the big guys was like the weakest part of the game.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there was one where I was just running around.
That was the
room
one in
and
the
just-
sand room. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
but yeah, very cool.
Yep.
Love that.
Good.
Beast of Reincarnation. This is Game Freak, and they're making a
Bad
Souls-like.
name. Cool looking game.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But I was just like, oh man, another one of these, and by Game Freak.
I like
huh?
that's the thing, right? I just have no faith in this. I'm sorry, you can't make a game as bad as Pokemon for that fucking long and then expect me to get excited about the next thing. In
What's
Pokemon.
happening here?
I'm being totally serious. Pokemon is fucking dog shit, man. I'll come out and say it. Like seriously, the quality of those games visually, yeah, man.
Yeah, technically,
I've said it.
visually
I've
they're
said it on my fucking channel multiple times.
Oh,
No,
I
no.
thought you meant we thought you meant like Pokemon, like all of it was bad.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, gameplay
Yeah.
and stuff?
So yeah, all of it. It's bad,
like
right?
even from the beginning.
Well, I mean, not from the beginning,
No,
but
like new, modern Pokemon.
modern Pokemon, like
Yeah.
seriously, you look at
Oh,
these
yeah, yeah.
games and you're like,
I'll
and
give
you're
you
like,
that.
there's no excuse for how this looks. It is the
yeah.
modern era. How on earth can you get away with this?
What I would say is, I agree that there is a remarkable lack of evolution in the Pokemon game.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
and it's like,
That's ironic, isn't it?
actually, I think I used that. I think I used that line in my review of Pokemon Sword and Shield, where I was like, "Ew."
it's the Alan Partridge voice on top of that. But you are right. Like, they are edging people with what that game they want. People know what they want that game to be,
Yeah.
and they almost go there and they're like, "We did
Yeah,
it,
look
but
at
not
Power
quite,"
World.
and it's shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite. Shit.
I haven't
Totally
played one
agree.
since the English one because we peaked there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which was the English one?
You know.
I don't.
X and Y? Is it X and Y?
I don't know which
Sword
ones they
Shield.
were.
Sword and Shield.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
an English one.
Yeah, it was like inspired. No,
Yeah.
They all just
They're
whatever.
kind of melded
It was like they're
together.
trying to
So
Harry
look, I
Potter.
would
skipped
love
the
to
last
see
one.
a game for a game where they come out and they're like using modern tech and they're maintaining a decent frame rate and like it's all working. Like just you know what I mean?
You know why they don't do it? Because they have to go back to a manageable amount of Pokemon, and they just don't want to do that. I think I would love it. I think
culling.
like about 800 of those are doo-doo water.
Yeah, they peaked
I mean,
at Geo,
the
dude.
fucking Clippy the paperclip.
Yeah, after Lucha, everyone sucks. Like, it's a Luchador Hawk. You're not getting better than that.
Yeah, that's a banger. All right,
Yeah.
so I think this looks fine.
As I said, I think it looks.
I like the robot.
I think it looks interesting on spec, but I'm going to wait to see how this thing actually plays.
Here's the glass half full way I'm looking at it.
Okay.
These people have been making Pokemon so long. The kind of stored up energy
Yeah,
must be
true.
insane.
I agree with that.
I will
agree with
always
that.
support people trying something different and
I
doing
agree
something
with
new. Grounded 2.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Yes,
Later.
but Clockwork Revolution.
Oh my
Wow.
god!
Looks incredible. That trailer, too long.
Too long.
How dare you?
Because there's so much cool shit to show.
Exactly right. I was like, oh no, this is only 3 minutes long. I need more.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
In what 3-minute world were you living in? That
Okay.
was a good 10-minute
That
jump.
was-
Then it
long,
felt like
guys.
3 minutes to me because I was so loving every single
Yeah.
second of it. I wanted more. Like that was one of the.
Yeah, I'm
did.
really
I'm
into it.
so into it. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
think it looks awesome. It is like the knob. Come on, like
Yeah.
The knob.
The knob.
It
Now, how
really,
do I
I
say
really
that?
didn't
Get a
expect to see
humor.
like brick top just
Yeah.
to be on there.
I said, why is this written and delivered like Snatch?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Oh my God,
Because
That's
there's one
exactly
bit where he
right.
says something in the exact like tone as "Ain't you Tyrone?" and he goes, "Of course I am." It was exactly the same, and I was like, "That's Snatch. What's going on?"
No, I think it looked incredible. I think it was the reveal of the show. I think it's one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. I think it even got me excited about like a character creator that looked so. But look, I'm a huge fan of Wasteland. Like I
I was
think
gonna say, yeah, this
In
is like a
Exile-
re-reveal though. It
it is a
yeah,
re-reveal,
it's
but
like
they
last
actually
year,
that
right?
was like a conceptual like, hey, we're making a.
Yeah.
But this was like. Then there was like the time shit at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much in this game, and I have so much faith in these developers. I think it was funny. I think it was really clever. I think it was beautiful to
Acting
look
was
at.
very funny. very
Everything
good.
about
It
it,
was
I was
funny.
like, yes. So for me, it
I
was incredible.
The issue I had was like my brain was really struggling to like take what the information that was being given to me and piece it together as a video game. It just felt like a lot of things
lot
going
of
on.
stuff,
Like
yeah.
I was like, oh, this is like a Kojima trailer, but like just insane.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's definitely on like the top of my list.
Hell yeah,
for
man.
sure. It looks so
Absolutely.
cool.
I really like that you wrote "wow" next to it.
I did, yeah. You're getting like snippets of like my
Yeah.
personal notes. So yeah. Chronos New Dawn, a new gameplay trailer.
Yep.
It's looking
It's
wet.
got the vagina helmet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait. Oh yeah, I didn't even put that together.
Sorry,
I've never seen one.
Just such upsetting imagery from both of you.
Let's go.
No.
The fucking lads are here.
Excuse me. Another trailer for Elder Scrolls Online
Good.
with like a good song.
I'm glad
That's
that
good.
exists for
Yeah.
them. Yep.
Aphelion. This is
That was
the
made
Don't Nod
with the
game.
European Space Agency.
The Don't Nod, yeah, the
Yeah, Don't
other
Nod one.
ESA.
The other ESA.
So is it like propaganda?
I
Like
don't
space,
propaganda.
pro space propaganda?
Pro space.
Where do you land on wanting to go to space? Do you want to go to space?
I absolutely want to go to space.
No.
Oh hell no!
Seems
No,
bad.
Yeah,
absolutely.
no.
Absolutely
no.
not.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have this conversation now. We have to keep exploring, man.
No,
We've
I'm
got
talking
to
about
do
me.
it. Oh, you mean
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't know.
I think it makes you human
I'm talking
beings
about
go.
I don't need to be.
No, I don't want to go to
I'm
space.
not
general,
sure
we
if
should.
in general,
No, we should.
yes, we'll go up
Braver
there.
people
Yeah,
should
yeah,
go
yeah,
The
to
Expanse,
space.
good shit.
Do you remember
Absolutely.
Mission to Mars when Tim Robbins took his helmet off? He turned into like fucking Ice Cube.
Yeah.
That's why I never want to go to space. It
Total
ruined me.
Recall, man. That's the one that got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. It's so good. So visceral. And
Yeah.
I
gross.
imagine that if that was you, just like no, I don't want
That's
that.
not gonna be me, man. I'm not
Absolutely
gonna do
not.
that.
Okay, so that's where we're at with
Space.
this game. So yeah, Aphelion looks like a kind of cinematic adventure.
It's a don't
That
nod game, so it's going to be like decisions and choices, right?
Yeah.
Good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Soundtrack.
Good soundtrack. Sure, sure.
Some angsty teens maybe.
They look a bit older in
Angsty,
this one.
angsty teens in space.
They look older. I don't think they're teens. She looked older. So
There are no ghosts at the Grand.
My
Bro,
highlight.
that
that's
looks
you.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I was so into
I
that
see-
game.
I was into it too. And
when
those
I watched
usually-
it, I'm like, "There's Lucy
There's
again."
a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She
what was
stopped
it?
peeling her orange to look at it.
I did. I was having my little snack, and then I stopped. No, because I thought at the beginning, because when we were chatting, it was like me, Tam, and Emma. We were like, "Is that like some kind of power wash sim cleaning thing?" And then it was like, "Your grandfather's gone missing." Conspiracy theory codes.
Open this door and it's
Decorating.
purple back there.
Well, also
Yeah.
too, when it kind of like switched, where it's like you're fixing up a house. It's a game where you fix up a house and everybody's quirky, and then it's like the guy's like, actually, I'm tricking everybody to solve a mystery
Yes.
while I'm doing all this shit.
Yeah.
and it
That's
was
a
like
cool
singing Reggae Man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
like,
there was
whoa.
a big Paddington energy there.
So it's gonna have like some musicalness to it,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
That
Looked
one came out of
fantastic.
nowhere. I don't know who is even
I know nothing
who's
about
making
it.
that.
No idea. I actually remember looking for the studio name, and it was like really small font. I couldn't
yes,
see
I
it.
did
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah, and so I don't know who that is, but whoever it is, if you're watching
job.
this, good
Yeah,
job.
it's slated for 2026.
Yep.
I'm searching.
Okay.
Nice.
Searching, recalculating. Mudong Two Hearts.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck is
Oh,
this?
yeah. I like
Where'd this come from?
It's almost that kind of thing where this is the Korean
Friday
It's a
Sunday.
great name, Friday Sunday.
Okay, nice.
That's the developers of
Ghosts.
Ghosts of the Grand.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
So-
they have no other
Debut
games
game?
listed.
The Mudong game was like Mudong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it's
Or
that
Mudang.
Mudang. It's that Korean like tactical espionage game or whatever. And it's that kind of thing where a trailer looks so cool that you kind of just don't want to believe it because it's like, oh wow, what if all of that is real?
That's how I felt about
that
Last
would be
Sentinels.
sick.
Do you know
Last
that
Sentinels.
Lightspeed game?
No, I don't remember that one.
Was it TJ's a couple years ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like the cyborg.
I have no recollection of it.
Yeah, you
Once you see it, you'll be like, oh,
Okay, right, yeah. But either way, I think this looked really sick,
Mm.
and I hope it's all real because it just has this really cool vibe to it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's like it looks like you're playing as like a girl and then like John Wick and then like a soldier.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of shifting around.
Apparently,
and doing
he's like a
cinematic
K-pop
stuff.
star, the guy, like
Yes.
the main actor guy.
I noticed they like hung on his face,
Yeah.
like, look at this guy. And I was like, that's a guy.
That's an attractive man.
Yeah. But cool. That's
but
my
it-
type of game. Run around and shoot stuff.
It really,
One cool eye. You love
Yeah,
that
that's
stuff,
right.
yeah.
That always iconic. Yeah.
it's like chasing that whole mind's eye thing. You know, it's like we're making like a kind of real worldy sort of cinematic action game thing, but I don't know. We haven't played Mind's Eye yet.
Good
but I'm
graphics.
not feeling good about
Don't think
Mind's
anyone's
Eye.
played
No
Mind's
one's
Eye
played-
yet.
There's
It's
like
out
that
in a couple
game's out in
days.
like 2 days and no review code's out yet. So anyway.
That is from EVR Studio. No, yeah, that's from EVR Studio.
Yeah.
So don't know too much about them. But this next one, Planet of Lana 2,
yeah,
made me immediately go, oh shit, I got to play the first one.
Yeah.
it was nice.
This was
It
cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
one's cool.
It is. Is it like that or is it different?
No, it's. I think it's quite different from that.
Okay.
Yeah, but that definitely feels like a step up.
This was a
A
great
major
trailer.
step
Cool
up.
style.
Mhm.
Like it definitely looks like it's got a good story
Yep.
story hook.
Yep.
Excuse me.
now
yeah.
he's flubbing.
Definitely on my. Yeah, I am flubbing. I'm starting to fade. It's like the chicken.
Yeah, we had
hot
we took a
chicken.
little break for
We-
Dave's
we
hot
did,
chicken, and
we
now
did.
it's at 10:30.
And Dave's Revenge.
Yeah,
Fallout 76 fishing.
Gone fishing. Come on,
yeah,
that's a good joke.
that is good for you and your
Hey.
humor. Hey.
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 Sorry, my list is.
I think we can skip solo leveling Arise Overdrive. I suspect none of us are particularly interested in that one.
Peeled another orange during that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
No, I want to do this Animo one. Don't you reckon Animo looks like if AI made a game? That
Dude, I thought it was that other.
The other one.
I thought it was a Power World like update.
I thought it was
personally-
Doki V.
No, there's the other
Doki
one.
I thought it was Doki
yeah,
V
yeah.
first.
But also, this is the one where the song, the person who's singing the song keeps saying something that sounds exactly like Power World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go
Right.
back and listen to it. I was like, I think
Okay.
this is a Power World.
This is
song?
just Power World without the guns. I was like, wow, that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm out.
Yeah. No idea what that is. So yeah. whatever.
Tony Hawk got a new trailer showing all the cool levels. It also showed Bam Margera as well as a friend of the show, Michelangelo.
Is that how it is?
Doom guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, what else can we say? There's a demo
Sure.
out now, though, which
Yeah,
is cool.
it's nice.
Next up is At Fate's End.
Do you guys remember that?
That was the new
The Spiritfarer,
team.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that!
Yeah.
I
That
love
was
that.
Sword
really-
coming out of the
I
heart.
loved her
That-
posture throughout the whole thing. She was really great. Did you not see this?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
The reason that looks so good is because of the poses she
Yeah,
struck.
heroic
Yeah,
poses.
they
There
were
were these
very, like,
poses that she would
sharp.
move between these heroic poses the entire time, and it just looked fantastic.
It's very,
Yeah.
That was how Spiritfarer was. There was a fluidity to the animation.
Yes.
That was very like enrapturing.
Absolutely.
But I like the way the combat looked. The whole like synergy between the card stuff. And
Yeah.
everything. It
Sure,
looked
and like
really seamless.
you're
Visually.
being in the combat, you're like, you're being like mom.
You're being just like mom. Incredible. I like
you
that they're
guys-
still tackling that like emotional stuff.
Did you guys
Yeah,
play
like-
Thirsty Suitors?
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't.
I think it's Thirsty Suitors. Yeah, that is very similar. Where the battles are like people just going on about their lives,
Their families and
together,
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
all. It's a really good game. I recommend
Yeah, art
it.
direction in this crazy. Like
So good.
Yeah.
Like I was really quite blown away by that. I think it was fantastic.
Gears Reloaded.
Yeah.
We know now it's coming August 26th.
Mhm.
I got to see that. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Persona 4 Revival.
Yeah.
It's real.
Oh, I mean, all of the voice actors from the original game
Is-
posting, "Hey, I've not been allowed
Is that
back."
because of SAG? Is that because of SAG
No,
stuff?
I just genuinely think they weren't asked.
Okay, that would be
Um,
crazy. Like, why would you not ask those people to?
Wait, what?
Oh, so like
So this is like a remake, right?
So this is a
Yeah.
remake, I assume, in the same vein as Persona 3 Reload. A few days ago, Yuri Lowenthal
Yeah.
And a bunch of the others, or at least one or two of the others, posted just publicly. They were just like, "Hey, I have not been asked back for the Persona 4 remake." This is before it got announced.
Before it was announced.
So
You'd be so mad.
maybe some miscommunication on that
is
one.
wild.
And Yuri Lowenthal is a pro, by the way. Like, he knows what he's doing. This isn't like a first time gig and he's fucking up. So there has to be a reason he did this.
Yeah, unless like he
And I think maybe it is the SAG stuff, like as in because then
US
if he's like,
based,
well,
yeah.
if you've hired like other voice actors to replace us, then I don't know, like who knows? But
Maybe he's got
Yeah,
that
if
black
it's like-
symbiote. He's going rogue.
Sorry.
It's
Scab
just
situation,
that
but-
you'd have to. It has to be something extreme and severe to recast those. They're such iconic voices.
And it's not like Yuri Lowenthal doesn't sound like a teenager anymore.
No.
Like he's like listening to him play Peter Parker.
maybe he like because he's a bigger deal now. Like they
don't
want to
pay.
Fee.
Well, I mean,
maybe.
Troy Baker is kanji, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah, good point.
Yeah, maybe it's expensive.
But Matt Mercer, but then the understudy for the animation and whatever, it wasn't Troy Baker, it was Matt Mercer. So like, you're not winning
You're not
there
winning
at all
there,
if you're
yeah.
trying to cut back on money.
Sure. Yeah.
So they didn't really tell us much, huh?
No year on it.
No year. Just a guy walking in a hallway. School confirmed.
You.
TV
Yeah.
is confirmed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I didn't play this one, so
Oh,
yeah, I'm
mate.
excited.
I've
I'm so
played
excited
a
for
little
you.
bit of it. Yeah, I've always play a little bit of them, like 3, 4.
That I did touch this one, yeah, but
Yeah.
I never like, yeah.
Did you play 3, the remake?
No,
Did you play original 3?
no.
You should play it. It's good.
That's what everyone says. They're
Go-
like, you
Golden
gotta play
is one of
3,
Is that the
my-
one where they go like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Enforcer.
but it's more like Japanese hip hop.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. All right, okay. That's great. Put it on my list.
No,
Add
I
it
mean,
to the list.
Persona 4 Golden's one of my favorite games of
Yeah.
all time. Like, it's phenomenal.
Banger.
A lot of it hasn't aged particularly well.
I
So-
wonder about that. I wonder about that because they did mess with it for the PC version.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did they?
Yes, they changed elements of it for the PC version, but it wasn't like a full rewrite.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do a full rewrite of parts of it.
Like, what?
for
Tell us
this.
what it is. What happens? That's like
There's
that would get
some,
rewritten.
like the ways in which is it kanji?
Kanji, I believe.
Yeah, he's spoilers for
Light spoilers. Can you do
Light
like
spoilers.
light spoilers?
Spoilers.
his arc involves him coming to terms with something about himself.
Okay.
And up until that point, the way he's portrayed is almost like self-loathing.
Okay.
And it can be read in a way which
I
is like,
understand, I understand, yeah,
and there's
sure.
also some like not particularly great lines.
Sure.
Here and
Yeah,
there.
there's also some stuff with Naruto.
Yeah,
later on in
Naruto
particular.
Okay.
That, I mean,
Is it like going back and doing a Friends rewatch? Is that kind of thing?
You know, yeah, it kind of makes you feel
Kinda,
Yeah, kind of like that. Okay.
It's
Sure,
kind of
sure,
like
sure.
a vibe. You're like, I remember loving this at the time. It's
Okay.
just how people spoke at the time.
Sure. No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. Sure.
In terms of other stuff, smaller stuff, Sea of Thieves is getting a smuggler update for season 17.
Good on them.
Good.
Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 16 are on Xbox.
Yep.
With Final Fantasy 16 being out now.
Ben Star Count 1.
It's pretty cool, of
That's
course.
right.
Yes,
Finally.
the showcase.
Invincible is getting a fighting game. It's called Invincible Versus.
Played it.
Come back
Hear
to
about that
that.
later.
Talk about that in a bit. Keeper.
Keeper.
Dude.
That looked incredible. This
This
is a
is-
Double Fine game.
Yeah.
Double Fine's new game is a lighthouse adventure. You play as a spooky lighthouse.
Imagine playing like what we're gonna do is you're gonna play as a lighthouse that walks around.
It's joint.
That is a game
It's
you
joint.
That is a game you can only make when you are comfortably acquired by a corporation.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
That is giving you
God
some
bless, man. I love it. I
Yeah.
think it looks so fantastic. Art style just looked like even better than they've ever done before, which is like saying something. It was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
I'm all in. It's nice too to be like, oh yeah, what have they been up to? Oh yeah, that's
Mm.
cool,
Cool
great,
stuff.
and it's coming this year.
Yep.
So
Yep.
October 17th. The last big thing, the piss take. This was. Can
my
we say that?
God.
Can I say that?
Oh,
Can I say
piss
that?
take.
Oh,
Wow. you said piss
Thank you.
take.
I'm learning. It's
Nice.
like osmosis. We saved one more thing. And it's like, what is this? You're watching it, and then it's Black Ops. It is Call of Duty Black Ops 7, starring the guy from
Milo
This Is Us,
Ventimiglia
who I think
Yeah,
is cool.
I love that guy.
from
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls.
From Heroes,
From Gilmore Girls.
from This Is Us.
He was really good in This
He's
Is
from
Us.
Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank
now
you.
he's unfortunately from Call of Duty.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
talked about it and it was like that game looks so cool up until the Call of Duty logo.
I was watching it actually because I was like, Jake and I were separate. And like we were on our computers or whatever. And like as soon as the logo flashed up, 10 seconds later, I get a message on Discord. It just reads, I'm so fucking mad right now.
I think it's worth saying, like, I don't mind that it's Call of Duty.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just went in there And I talked about this on our stream. Is like the moment that logo showed up, all the possibilities of what it was up until that point just got stamped down into I know exactly what this is.
Yes.
Like I know
And
what
it's
this
like,
is.
look, obviously a lot of people that play Call of Duty games watch this showcase, but this showcase is not for them. Like this showcase is for a lot of other people. Like
That's why it was focused on the campaign, because it's like the one interesting thing is the Black Ops lore.
I mean,
because not Raul Menendez. The guy at the end showed up. The old guy.
Menendez.
Is that Menendez?
Yeah, I thought it was Menendez.
Yeah, I
thought
get
it
them
was.
mixed up. It's been a while. He showed up, and I was like, oh, they're like really doing, and like Mason, Milo.
The numbers.
Yeah, he's. So I'm like, okay, cool. They're like going all in and we're like, remember this shit.
It's also a showcase for shareholders.
I mean, yeah, sure, but I feel like I feel as deflated as Vin Diesel getting up at the end of the Game Awards to present the last award. I'm just like, this is not what this is for, man. Like, I get it.
He's a big gamer. He's the executive producer of Arc 2.
That's right. So I don't know. Like, I understand all the metrics. I understand all the reasoning, but I was still like, okay, thanks, man.
Right. Sorry to go off on a Nine Inch Nails soapbox.
Here we go.
The excitement.
Because it was kind of cool. Like I was like, all right, I know what they're doing here.
Well, no, because Trent Atticus did the theme for Black Ops 2. They did the theme for that.
Yeah.
Then in Black Ops 6, they used a Nine Inch Nails song at one of the
Head
Like a Hole.
Like a hole.
and then this one, Hand That Feeds. So it's like, who over there is just like the big Nine Inch Nails fan?
Show yourself.
Show yourself.
Yeah.
Let's be friends. But also, like, is that some kind of weird in-universe Black Ops thing now that they're going to be in? Like, they fucking put Avenged Sevenfold in Black Ops.
So Nine Inch Nails is like canon
Dude,
in
I
the
want
universe.
both Trent and Axe just appear in the game.
That'd be
That
cool.
would be
If
so
they're going to appear
cool.
in any game, they got to appear in Death Stranding. But
I think that makes sense.
Never say never. So yeah.
and even if they do, I genuinely don't know. I haven't played. So if they're in Death Stranding and I spoiled that, I don't know how.
I will say I'm gonna play this Call of Duty. Like
Yeah, me
I
too.
play.
I love the
usually
campaigns.
I love the campaigns.
Yeah.
I play a bunch of multiplayer.
Sure.
It's just like it was the soaring high, crushing low moment.
I need
And
to
now
brush
it's
up.
like
What was the
normalized.
butterfly? Is it, they're doing a butterfly effect thing, you reckon?
No, it makes you think. It's a butterfly effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really makes you think.
There was malice behind that.
This winter.
This winter.
Yeah, I'm excited. I got to brush up on Black Ops because I was like big into it. Like with the first game, it was
Oh,
incredible.
yeah,
and
me
like
too.
now, I'm like, oh yeah, what's the state of all these guys? Because they keep bringing them back.
Is
They put one guy
Reznov
in,
dead?
put one guy in
Reznov is
fucking
gone,
Fortnite
I
or something.
think.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, right. I mean, Black Ops is great.
well, good showing overall. A lot of
I think it was
interesting
solid,
Good show.
solid
Yeah.
showcase. I think they did a
Sure.
good job. I think there's a lot of games on there. Many of them are coming relatively soon.
Yeah.
And
Mostly
I was
26.
impressed. Yeah, for sure. I think Clockwork Revolution just made the show for me, to be honest.
Me too.
And I think the ROG Ally thing looked solid. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it was nice. It would have been nice to see some Fable.
Yeah,
Would have been really nice to
give
see
it a
that.
break. Let it like just
Sure.
like it's fine.
Bit of
Like,
E-Day would have been
'cause
good.
They said Fable, E-Day, and Forza next year.
He also said like there was one at the end of the Hills was like and one returning classic or something. Remember
he
something
said
like
one
that?
franchise that's been with us from the beginning,
Yeah.
and everyone's just like, "Oh,
Halo?
Halo!" Somebody was like, "Oh, they're putting Halo Combat Evolved again or something."
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone
What was
automatically
it?
assumed that.
It's for next year.
Yeah, we don't know what it
We
is.
don't
He
know
just
what
kind
it
of
is
dropped
yet. He's
that.
just like teasing that shit. So I don't know.
It's
what it
Links
is.
to
Hexic.
Time Sweeper.
Hexen.
New Hexic. Hexic?
Hexic?
The polygon thing that you, or the weird hexagon thing that you keep turning on the original Xbox.
I don't
360
remember
you
that.
get? Dude, that was a banger.
Okay,
That game
alright.
was so
Remember
good.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's Fusion Frenzy or Blinks. Blinks to Time Sweeper.
Blinks, please. Yeah,
They
bring,
him
him back.
but it's like he's like gritty now. It's like
Cameo
edgy.
elements.
Just
of
that's just
power
conquer
too.
though.
Dude,
That's
bro.
just conquer at that point.
Oh, wait.
New cameo.
Game I convinced myself to love because I had no money. I bought the
should
wrong
say-
launch game.
What you said out loud when
Oh, I
Milo
said
Ventimiglia turned
when
up on
when
screen.
it appeared, I went, "Oh my god, Microsoft is finally putting out Milo."
Project Milo.
Oh, shit.
Oh god, that's like a Tam tweet. That's like what it is.
I did tweet
I
it.
immediately went,
I
tweet
tweeted
that,
it,
tweet that.
and
Yeah.
because of
That's
the
great.
algorithm on all the social networks are so trash, it got like one like.
Oh, my-
Nice.
All right. Next up, we have a great conversation with Alex Jordan, who is the star of the new game, The Altars, a game I'm enjoying quite a bit. I think we're both enjoying quite a bit. So we'll talk to him right now.
How's everyone's voice doing?
My voice is golden. My voice is golden.
Wow, of course. You
The
would.
professional
You
voice
would.
actor. Oh my
voice
God.
is golden.
All right, commit.
So you know how this goes. We'll introduce you in the.
Oh, I figured this was it.
Oh, we're doing the bits. Okay, we're talking. Okay, hey, we're here.
We are
with Alex Jordan. How are you?
I'm good. I am good. I was saying earlier on, I'm in the place of I wake up from every nap feeling tired. So it's not like they're never like restful naps. They're necessary naps, but they're never truly fully restful naps.
That sounds like a curse.
Yep.
I told him to get the app.
I know. I do have the app.
What do you mean?
There's an app. There's two.
Sleep
There's like
Cycle.
Sleep Cycle, nap, and there's a power nap one.
Is it like the jet lag keep up one, or is it different?
It just wakes you up because you put it on the bed next to you, and it could be complete. It could be a crock of shite.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's
because when
meant-
I've used it in the past properly for when I'm sleeping, it works.
Yeah.
It really works.
You put it on the mattress next to you, and it detects from your breathing, from your movements when you're in deep sleep or REM or whatever.
I
and
love
you
when
can-
my device knows when I'm breathing. That's good.
But it detects when you're at your lightest point of sleep. And
Yeah,
then
man.
so you give it a window in which to wake you up. And within that window, when you reach the lightest point, it will go do the alarm.
A
It'll give you a
scientifically
very-
accurate wake up.
a little
Yeah, that's
gentle
nice.
wake up.
And it is actually, you do feel much nicer when you wake up from it.
Yeah.
That'll fix me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So you're
not broken. You're fine.
Thank you. You're exhausted though because you've been on the road, I assume, wrapping up things with the altars.
With the altars and with Natural Six, it's been across a 6-week window. I have gone London, Boston, London, Warsaw, London. I can't say that city. London, LA, London, Warsaw, back to London.
That's
too
many.
a lot of the same place back and forth.
I know,
quite
yeah.
a bit. Whew.
I literally keep touching base in London for literally less than 24 hours and then just getting back on another flight.
Well, we're getting you at that specific point. When this goes out, I think reviews will have dropped, but we're getting you probably like right before reviews and everything drops for the
Yeah.
altars. So how are you feeling? What's that like?
I'm really, really nervous. I'm not going to lie. I have never been this nervous for a game release. And not because I think that, I'm worried about what the reviews will be. I think the reviews will be good. It's just that I've never had a situation before where my performance actually feels like a game mechanic.
I was gonna say, so for people who don't know, because we had you on the show when we did Gamescom last year, we kind of talked a little bit about the altars. But for those who don't know, why is your performance so key in the
I
altars?
play 11 different alternate timeline versions of the same guy.
Seems excessive.
Yep. Bit much.
Bit much.
Yeah.
Grow up.
I actually requested it. The game never had it.
Yeah, they
and
were
I-
like,
I
oh,
asked
maybe
Make it
for
hard. Hard mode, please.
Maybe one or two. I was like,
So I play 11 alternate timeline versions of the same man. Jan Dolsky is trapped on an alien planet, and in order to survive, he has to create versions of himself that have skills that he never had, using a previously theorized resource called Rapidium, which exponentially speeds up growth.
Mhm.
So you create these clones of yourself, but they're not really clones. They branch at a point in time in your life that was key, that could have seemed small and insignificant at the time. So they go on to live different lives. They have different worldviews. They have different opinions of the world. They have different morals, but they are still fundamentally the same person. So I have spent over 400 hours in the booth doing this work, and it's been I think the thing that I'm nervous about is that this is the most nuanced work I've ever done. It's the most I've ever done fine brushstroke work where it's hard. Let's say you're painting a mural on a wall and you are this close to those listening. I am miming being very close to a paintbrush. You are this close. You are doing tiny little brushstrokes. When you're doing that, it's hard to know what the whole painting looks like further back.
Oh,
Right.
wow. Yeah.
So that's where I currently am at. I know that the work that we've been doing in the booth, I believe in it, but I still haven't been able to step back and take in the full thing.
Mhm.
And I'm like, the rumblings and the murmurs, the conversation I've had with people who've been playing the game are lovely.
Me, I was like, hey, I like this game a lot.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The analogy that I gave, analogy that
My
I've
beer.
given, I'm taking your beer for this analogy. On a beer, there's the froth and the foam and the head at the top. and that adds to the flavor, and you get the little smell you sip, and it adds to everything. That's for me what video game acting has been, like up until now. You add something to the whole experience, but fundamentally, if the beer itself,
I'm so nervous,
isn't enjoyable,
push the beer over.
I'm not going to push your beer over. Don't worry.
Teetering
It's right on the edge.
But the
I'm
analogy
going
is
to take
strong.
I'm going to take a picture and put this in the newsletter of menace. Wait,
So if the beer itself, which is the mechanics of the game and the work that all the devs have been putting in, isn't good, it doesn't matter if the froth is nice. And for the first time ever, I feel like I'm part of the actual beer,
You're in
the
the beer.
liquid. And that's quite a nerve-wracking experience, and it feels like quite a bit of pressure.
I mean, hang on. You've been in a lot of games. He was in bloody Andor as well recently, weren't you?
Yeah.
That was a jump scare for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I know
That's Alex.
Who's
that was
that?
me when I watched Paddington 2.
Yep. Do you know what? I am in Paddington 2 for all of 10 seconds.
And yet, when I was in the cinema and I saw you, I was like, ah!
Yep. I still get regular texts about that. People being like, "Oh, we were just sat watching Paddington 2, and I always forget that you're in this." And I'm like, I mean, I'm in it, but am I in it?
Did you have a line? I can't
No.
remember. No,
Do
you
you
just
know
stand
what?
there behind Mr. Brown.
Do you know what? We the audition was basically all improv. They were like, improv some lines. So I did that.
Mm.
And then when we got there on the day, Paul, the director, lovely man, was like, do you know what? I think the whole joke of this moment works way better as a silent gag. And I was like,
Well,
yeah, you're right.
Sure, man.
Cool, thanks.
but no, so you don't get, how do you get nervous on gigs? Does it vary about like your involvement, or is it?
Yeah, I genuinely don't really get nervous. This is the first time I've truly been nervous. I don't think it's not a feeling of like arrogance of going like, I've done really good work, but I always go in and I know that I do the absolute best that I can on everything. And I never walk away going, I'm a bit worried that I phoned that in.
From that
do you know
one
what I
in.
mean?
Yeah.
So I always know that I go in and do the best thing that I can.
Is there, you were saying, like, just how it is. I can't think of another game where, an actor has had to do something like this. So there's no rule book. Did you seek out advice from any, like, colleagues or anything? Or, like, where do you start?
Honestly, no. I thought, basically, it kind of was very clear at the beginning that if I try and seek out too much advice or listen to other people, then I'm never going to have a clear vision of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, cool. I went into the audition going, this is what I'm going to do. And I did it, and they liked it, and I just continued doing that. And I think one of the best things that I have learned as I've continued to do more and more games is exactly that. Is every time I go in to do an audition, I'm not going in to try and get the part. I'm going in to try and show them, here's what I think the character should be. And I then don't take it as a personal slight, because you put a lot of yourself into characters that you do. You could get so much rejection. Do you know what I mean? Like, as an actor, if you go in and just go, well, here's what I'm thinking. If that's the way you approach it, when they say no, it's not like you don't see it as them going, no, we don't like you.
Yeah.
You just go, okay, well, that's not what we were thinking.
Yeah,
cool,
you didn't,
great.
You disagree with my idea.
Yeah, cool. And then we will move on.
So what did make you ultimately take it on? What was it? The challenge? Was it like the story hook? Was it the people who made the game? Like, what is it?
Well, also, yeah. I mean, to add on to that, in that audition process, what changed? Did you end up getting to use all those yans, or?
So, I've never had this before with a video game with any developer. The moment that they asked me to even tape, they went, "Cool, okay, here's loads of information about the game."
So, from talking to actors, that never happens.
Oh, wow.
So often I've worked on games. I don't know what it is I'm working on until the game releases, and then I hear my voice in something, and I go,
Oh, man.
"Oh, that's the thing I'm working on."
Right.
Now, there are moments and there are times, as someone who is a gamer myself and plays a lot of games and is involved in the scene from the player side.
I didn't know you were a gamer. Get out of here.
Get out of
Get
here!
out.
Disgusting.
You make me sick.
I very often figure out what I'm working on, and they go at the end of it. They go, "So, you got any questions?" And I go, "Yeah, this is XYZ, right?" and there's always a pause, and they're like, no.
They're like, damn, he is a gamer. He put all the clues together.
Like literally, there was hasn't been the best release. Skull and Bones.
You Skull and Bones?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You really are and everything.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
I think I've done
Yes.
about 90 games now. But like, so Skull and Bones, again, audition. The end of the audition, they're like, have you got any questions? Like, yeah, this is Skull and Bones, right? And they're like, no. I have that all the time. But with this, they went, here is all of the information that we can give you at this point in time, because if you're going to be doing this level of work, this kind of fine, nuanced work, they go, we need to know that the person who's auditioning kind of can do it. And if you're being kept in the dark, then you're never going to fully get the full picture of what the person can do. So did the audition. Initially, the voice, they said they wanted like Scandinavian American. So
Right,
they were
what does that mean?
So like European, Scandinavian American, they wanted it to be like kind of ambiguous.
Okay.
Right.
So we did this voice. It was like American, but kind of had that kind of, every now and then slightly kind of.
Oh, it's so scary. It's like it's scarily impressive how you
That
just
is cool. Yeah,
went
I
into
slipped right
that.
into it.
So did that on the audition on Zoom in my tiny little studio that was a walk-in wardrobe that I just like was squidged in. And then they asked me to go and go back and do the recall. I was on holiday in Turkey. My friend's dad has retired and sold loads of his possessions and bought a boat. And was like, he's sailing it up and down the coast in Turkey. And my friend was like, do you want to go and just like
hang out.
So I found out about the recall in Turkey, and they sent through an entire Bible of the game. And I mean everything, every story beat from start to end that will happen or could happen, because there's
Scenarios.
Scenarios.
Go places.
So they sent everything, and I in that moment remember sitting there and going, "Oh no,
they like me. They really like me.
They like me." But also
What did I sign up for?
the feeling of now,
Shit.
if I don't get this, I'm going to be heartbroken.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely going to be heartbroken. I was in that moment totally sold. I was like, this is amazing. Developers who just give you all the information because they want to be very collaborative with you is amazing. Went in, and the final round audition was a 4-hour workshop. Like literally just 4 hours, spending half an hour, 45 minutes on different voices. And genuinely the voices that we came up with in that time, in that space, were pretty much the voices that we ended up with for those alters. We didn't do all the alters, but the ones that we did the scientist, we did the technician, we did the refiner, the miner.
Who do you workshop with? Like the game director, like voice director?
Yeah, it was with the game director, Tomek, and the producer, Bartek, were there. And then the audition process was with Kate Saxon, who does a lot of amazing voice direction. And then Kate was initially going to be doing the direction of the game, the voice direction, and then was unable to because of other engagements. So Damien Goodwin stepped in, and Damien has done a lot of work with Kate, his own stuff, and they work a lot side by side. And he kind of stepped in, and it was kind of seen as like, right, well, Damien will do some of it, and then Kate will come back. And then we started to realize pretty quickly, it's not going to work if you do that. You need to have one voice director from start to end, seeing it through, really.
Yeah.
And honestly, whatever performance I give in this game, however it is treated, any credit that would go towards it, 50% of it needs to go to Damien. Because he's been amazing, and I genuinely would not give the performance that I had if it weren't for him, and if he weren't keeping me. It's like having someone with their hand on the tiller at all times, keeping the ship in the right direction. And he's that, because as I say, if I'm so close to the painting,
you need the person.
I need the person standing back going, yeah, cool, that move that there, over there, yeah.
So at the very beginning, you're coming up with the voice. So you started like this, European American. We talk a little bit about how you found. Like, can we go through the Yans and how you found kind of the voice for them? Because you and I were chatting, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
And the way that you were describing just the different intonation, the different cadence
Mm-hmm.
that they have is so interesting. And hearing you switch on the fly is scary in a great way. It's like me, because I have like a bizarre accent, but then I talk to my mum on the phone and I'm Geordie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you just go into that place.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like hearing another Geordie. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
But how do you do it?
So the voices themselves is really interesting. We have kind of, there is a spectrum in which we can have the voices sit, at which if they go too far to one end of the spectrum, they become cartoonish and they become not real people. You don't buy into the game. They have to still feel like they are voices of real people. They can have character and they can have characters that feel different, but we can't push it too far. So we have taken certain creative choices and we have taken certain little, liberties. For example, we have a Northeast accent.
What?
Northeast America.
What?
What?
Just wait now. Sorry. Huh? What are you saying? No.
What are you talking about? Are you joking?
So we've got like that, and then we've got like West Coast, and we've got some Southern. So accent-wise, yes, if you move somewhere, your voice will kind of take on a slightly different, case in point, yourself.
Don't know what you're talking about.
So it will change, but there will still be, fundamentally, you'll still be the same person. But we have done some things where maybe they wouldn't be quite as Southern, maybe they wouldn't be quite as Northeastern. But what those accents do in that moment is give you a very clear, concise through line to a sense of personality.
Yeah, a differentiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not to play too much into cliches or something, but, like Northeast, you have that kind of slightly more streetwise.
Yeah.
West Coast, you have that slightly more laid back, relaxed.
Yeah.
You then the South, you have that sort of just like relaxed, but not in a way that is quite so kind of, I don't know,
West Coasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've made choices. We have made stylistic choices. Physically, there are things that I do to help myself get into those places. The Shrink, who is, I would say, I think the point at which people might go, oh, I've heard this guy's voice before. The Shrink probably sounds closest to the sound that I do for Mr. Hands in Cyberpunk. But like anytime I was doing The Shrink, I have a mug in my hand with some water in it, and I'm constantly moving the water, and it's kind of that slightly meditative thing. So the therapist, that kind of slightly disconnected, meditative kind of position they take when they go into a conversation. That helps with that.
Do you have any phrases that help you, or do you need them?
No, not really phrases. That's interesting because often on other games, you do like Veilguard. We had certain phrases, certain key touchstones that we would play back at the beginning. Things like, I can still remember, like, army of demons aside, what's Anaris planning here? Things like that. Anaris, who was actually was Matt Mercer. But so little moments and little things like that, I can remember them because we kept touching on with those. But with the alters, no. I mean, we did listen to references each time, but it was never like the same references. I think it's more like facial movements and stuff that I do to help me get there. The technician, I kind of do this almost like De Niro-esque.
I was just gonna say, it's a very De Niro.
For those listening, I've done a 10 out of 10 De Niro face.
Yeah,
Actually, it was actually
he did
pretty-
the lick
it
too,
was
the
very
little like
good.
tongue thing. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh my god.
Oh my God.
But I don't do, but I don't do the full De Niro, but like it's that kind of like, yeah. He's kind of like, he's got this kind of slightly sarcastic approach to life. So that kind of like he's a bit doubting at all times and sarcastic. So there are certain facial movements, certain body positions that I will hold, which will help me get into the place of those.
Get into the yan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have is there like a thing? I feel like we've spoken to some actors in games who have brought something emotional to the table. Is there something here that you brought in?
Do you know
Something
what's
special
so
or-
interesting about this is every time you work on a character, it's so cliche to be like, and I brought a little bit of me too. Do you know what I mean? That thing of like,
Actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn
You
actors.
brought all of your 11 clones across your timeline.
But do you know what I mean? Like literally, it's so cliche and ridiculous when it's like, yeah, and I just really brought, like in every character you find a bit of yourself or something like that. In this one, genuinely, to find one version of yourself, to then go, okay, cool. Now find like another part of yourself. It's still very much you, but it's like, what if it was you, but this, that, change this, find this like sort of other part of yourself. I genuinely felt like I was in therapy for the whole of this game.
Wow.
Like every single character has their own really heavy moment in the game. They have their moment where you talk to them and you sit down and you really find out about what makes them tick, what makes them work, and what are their like hopes, fears, their dreams, all that stuff. To get to do that 11 times over was emotionally draining in a way that felt very cathartic. Like I genuinely feel like I have kind of had 2 years of therapy.
But they paid you for it.
Yeah.
Which is very
they paid
big.
me
They paid
for
you
2
to do
years of therapy. I've loved it. I've genuinely loved it. And I feel like I have 100% come out the other side of this. The better understanding of who I am. The game is all about what if. What if this? What if that? And like, how might you be different? And I feel like I am someone who never really asked myself that question. I always was just like, I'm just happy doing my thing and being here and I'm very happy, blah, blah, blah. But actually I was forced to sit and think about things a bit more in a way that I feel like, yeah, maybe a slightly more well-rounded person on the other side of this.
That's great.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Wow. You don't have to name it, but do you have a favorite?
Yeah,
Did you
do.
land on a favorite? Yeah.
I do have a favorite. My favorite is the guard, because the analogy that I give is if all of the yarns together are a planet and they are part of the same body, the guard is the moon.
Aww.
So he is part of the system, but he's not part of the planet necessarily. That's by choice. But he kind of floats around and he's there. When you spend 400 hours with fundamentally the same man, but like fractured psyches of the same person, I guess, it's nice to almost have that little bit of fresh air and that little coming, like you're coming up from underwater for like a little, okay, cool, that's the guard. He's like a bit of fun, he's a laugh, and he's got his like flaws and he's got his weaknesses, but he's slightly less kind of in that seriousness.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
He's really cool.
You had to have also felt, I know the therapy side and the good part, but you also had to have felt like you were going crazy after a while, like 400 hours.
Oh my God, yes.
So you were doing Dragon Age at the same time.
I mean,
as
yeah,
well.
we were saying the other day,
Oh,
we were doing Dragon Age at the same time, but also I was on like 2 or 3 other games as well at the same time. And I had a 6-month window where I was 8 hours a day, 5 days a week in the booth. And my agent was just like, we can call this at any time. We can take a break if you need to take a break.
Yeah.
We can just turn around and go, this is too much now. I have conversations with people where they're like, that's just a job, mate. That's just a job. I'm like, it's not, in the same way that like, if you sit down at a desk for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, let's say you get an email or a text, there's things in your life that you need to sort. Cool. You just go pick up that phone call, send that text, take that break. When you're in the booth, every hour that you're in the booth, they are paying for your time and your sole focus is every single line. So I fell behind on so much life stuff because when I'd be out the booth, any business stuff that I needed to sort, everyone was out of the office at that point.
I was going to say you'd be firing off your emails at 6, 7
exactly
onwards. Yeah.
So I fell behind in so much life stuff. So not only are you constantly behind in that way, but also talking. Imagine you have to give a presentation at work and it's like the big presentation and everyone's expecting good stuff from it.
But the whole 8 hours.
But it's every day. Every hour of every day is you stood in front of the room full of people giving the presentation nonstop. That's draining. That's really draining.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Good.
So therefore I'm never going to be like, oh no, poor me.
Oh, I'm back in the booth again.
Like I have this feeling every now and then when I like cycle through town to get to sessions and I see people on their way to work Some people love their jobs. Some people hate their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But I cycle through and I see the people who I'm thinking, I can just tell you don't want to go into your work right now. And I'm going, what a blessing it is that I genuinely am like going past it right now. I'm going like, I'm doing exactly what I love and what I've always wanted to do. So even when I get to the end of like 6 months, I'm like 5 months in or whatever of that block, I'm like going home and I don't want to talk to anyone. But I'm never going to be like, oh, I hate this. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Good.
Yeah.
Have you played through the game in its entirety yet? Like finished product?
No.
Okay.
No. I have played Act 1 and I have played some of Act 2. But I've not yet played it in its entirety. And I kind of also don't really want to until I'm on stream.
Yeah.
Because I want the community that I've built on Twitch to see my genuine first reactions to like the whole arc.
That's fun. Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
I don't want it like, because it's tough when you work on something, it's tough to kind of totally disconnect from it when you're playing it, and you're often very aware of what's coming around the corner. There are certain times in games where I'm just like, oh my God, I recorded so many hours of this and it was so long ago that I have no memory of what's coming now. I don't know at all. This one, I know everything. If I make a decision, I will know. But I think the enjoyment is going to be knowing what's coming and looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So I think
that's cool.
I mean, also though, even if I think I know what's coming, if you mismanage your crew, it can all just go down the drain very quickly.
I'm only a couple hours in. I'm still in the demo part.
It can go down.
Year.
Like, I mean, all I'm gonna say is there was a guy at the hands-on event who was like, I don't know what went wrong, but I had full-on alter side. And like someone just took out the entire the way in which it can quickly spiral. Like
that really got out of hand.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild how your playthrough can just spiral very quickly into like absolute chaos.
Oh, before we go, last night we were talking a little bit about the game director. Can you tell me a little bit more about him? Because you seem really enamored with just how they put these games together.
Tomek is a genuine artist who I fully believe should and will be in the same category, the same conversations as Sam Lake, Reb Ford, as Joseph Fares, as people who like lead a project with a very clear vision, but they know how to work with a team to make that happen. It's not a dictatorship. It's very much collaborative. But when you have those people who go, I've got a really unique idea and I know how I'm going to get it done. Are you on board? And then everyone goes, yes, because you're, first of all, fundamentally, you're a really good person.
That helps.
You understand what will make this an enjoyable thing for the whole team. But also, your vision is really, really cool. Tomek is exactly that. And I just want the world for him. And I think on the other side of this, people will just go, oh my God, okay. He worked on This War of Mine.
Oh, shit.
Like, yeah. This War of Mine, and now like the altars. He's making stuff that is deeply, deeply emotional, philosophical. Their whole thing is meaningful games. And like if he wants to make stuff that make people come out the other side of it feeling like they've gone through a kind of a slightly transformative experience in a way that doesn't feel maybe a bit sort of not arrogant. What's the word? A bit like you never feel like someone is like talking down to you going, and here I'm going to teach you something. Do you know what I mean? It's not that. It's guiding you through a journey and going, so what do you think? At the end, it's that. And I feel like he's just a very special person, and the entire time it's always been a collaboration with him and never him going, well, here's what I want. It's how are we going to make this happen together? And I think he's got a very cool and special journey ahead of him. He's already been working in the industry for a while, but the journey ahead of him is very, very, very bright.
We could say the same thing about you. Not to like kiss your ass, but yeah. It's a cool game. It's a great game.
I think it's a cool game. I think you guys are great.
That's very. Tell us more. Tell us more.
Let's all pat each other on the back.
Before we do go, what else are you cooking on, and like where can people find you?
So Natural Six,
Yeah.
which for those of you who may have listened or watched the show in Cologne with Ben Starr, myself
Who?
and Ben, never heard of him. Never heard of him. I mean, I can't even look at this. I mean, his face isn't on your t-shirt, but I can't escape
Can't
him
escape it, I'm
anywhere I
sorry.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of rude of me.
Yeah, so with Ben, with Harry McIntyre, who is Noah in Xenoblade Chronicles, but he was also in The Last Kingdom, with Aoife Wilson, who works at Larian.
girl, Aoife.
Love Aoife. Holly Bennett.
My other girl.
Other girl who works at Square Enix. And then Doug Cockle, who is obviously Geralt of Rivia in the Witcher games. We play D&D together, and we've just had a great time. We went and did PAX
Your PAX
East.
was nuts.
We had we filled it's been mad. We filled everything at PAX that we did. We did 3 shows at PAX. We basically had a great time filling that. And then we went and did MCM London almost immediately after. The first time we did MCM London, we did the center stage. We did 1 show. That was before our launch. That was launching our Kickstarter. The second time we went back, we did the center stage, and we did a panel in a room upstairs and a meet and greet that was 3 hours. Then the third time that we've just done recently, we did our show on the main stage, our second show on the center stage, which used to be our main show. And then we did 2 3.5, 4 hour meet and greets. So it's been a really cool feeling of going every time we go back. It's like a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. So we're doing that. That's a lot of fun. I love it so much. Again, that's like therapy. And it feels really cool when you're an actor who is constantly waiting for other people to bring you opportunities. It feels really cool to sit down with friends and go, this is ours.
Yeah.
This is all ours. We get to be in control of this. I have a character that is mine. I'm the script writer. I'm the editor. I'm the actor of that character, everything. And then to feel like you're building something with friends. And also, anyone who hasn't played D&D, have you played D&D?
No.
My last day of PAX, I went with Jeff Baclar and his lovely wife and their kid and Super Eye Patch Wolf, and we went and played. We went to learn how to play D&D because it was Mother's Day and Stacey really wanted to learn. So that's how we finished off our PAX.
Okay,
It was
well, we
great.
have to find a time to play.
Dude, yes.
We have to find time to play.
I'm willing. I really want to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my God. Okay.
We'll finally do the FPS one shot.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's a
oh my
thing?
God. Okay.
No,
could
but
be
like
cool.
we've joked about it before.
Yeah.
That we'll like.
I would be, oh my God. Okay. I just did my first bit of GMing.
Yeah.
My first
Wait,
bit,
because the Altus
because I
one.
turned the
Oh,
altars
nice,
into
yeah.
a TTRPG, which was a lot of work. And now I'm like, oh, I did my first GMing on camera with a TTRPG that I created. Oh, I can do this.
All right. We're getting you
100%.
in. We're getting you in.
I would be so keen. But it's the thing that human beings have done forever. It's where all culture has ever come from. And that is people sat around a table or a campfire telling a story together.
I never thought about it like
Every
that.
legend, every mythology, everything you've ever known to be a core touchstone of any civilization came from people just telling a story together and
like
passing
that.
that story on. And that's what D&D is. That's so cool.
Damn. All right, I'm in.
All right.
All right, cool.
All right, we're in. You're the best.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you very much for having me. I
Also, thank you for
appreciate it.
hopping on the Gamescom show. I never told you this, but thank you for jumping on that with us.
That was
meant
so
a
much
lot.
fun. I'm not going to lie. Where's the Vegemite this time? Where's the Vegemite?
We've got this
Delicious.
box of water.
Which is that Ralph's backwash? Oh my goodness! For anyone right now who I've just sat very upright who is watching.
He's looking right at you. in the
Looking
camera.
right at
Probably
you.
That one. Yeah.
We were in the bar last
He's not
night.
here to defend himself. He's not here to defend himself.
We're gonna tell this.
We were in the bar last
we should
night.
end on this. Yeah.
And I basically turned around and saw Ralph and went, "Oh, hey, mate." And Ralph looked at me and went, "Hey." And I was like, "You don't remember me, do you?" He was like, "Wait, we've met?" And I was like, "Yep." Your live show? He was like, "What?" I was like, "Gamescom, the live show, Cologne." And my God, his face, he was so embarrassed that he'd forgotten me. He was
true. I was right there.
so embarrassed that he'd forgotten me. And I take no offense in it. I just really enjoyed how embarrassed he was in that moment. Like
So, I mean,
it was a moment of
Big
beauty.
time skill up. Too
Yeah.
good for
No, because he was at an appointment and he couldn't make it for this, and he messaged and he's like, "I'm downstairs. Let me know when you guys are finished."
He's actually avoiding it.
Yeah.
He's like, I
And
can't face him
then
again.
I said, Alex just asked who you were, and he went, "Oh."
Ralph just texted him to be like, "Who's Ralph?"
Anyway, thank you so much again.
Thank you very much.
You're the best.
I've had fun.
Now back to you, us. Now you all right? We're back. God, it's so bad. Yeah, we're back. We got to talk about all the stuff we have seen and played and encountered. So we're kind of going to go back and forth. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Oh boy,
Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers.
Yeah.
How's that?
It's the most Souls-like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's fine. There's not a single new idea in it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's just imagine Dark Souls, but in China, and you are 98% the way there. Having said that, I enjoyed playing it. It's a well-made game. It feels nice. It ticks the boxes. It, understands what this thing is and delivers it fairly well, but it's very derivative. And if you like these games and you want another one of them, this is certainly another one of them. That is literally it. So, yeah, that's mine.
Was it tough? Uh-huh.
Say again?
Was it hard
Difficult?
or like
No, it wasn't. It
Oh,
was.
is this more like
I
a-
found it quite. But I play a lot of those games. It wasn't that found it that difficult. It was fine.
In terms of pacing,
Yeah.
does it feel closer to a FromSoft game or does it feel closer to like a Team Ninja style?
Absolutely
action?
FromSoft game, because I
Okay,
also
cool.
played
Okay.
while I was here Phantom Blade Zero, and that
is
is
that a newer
that is
demo or is it the same
it's a
demo as
newer
last year
demo.
but
Demo,
the
yeah.
same?
and it's I think
area?
it's significantly better.
Oh, cool.
I was quite impressed by it. The boss battle that I fought in particular was like really good. So that is definitely much more a Team Ninja kind of game.
Yeah, okay.
This one is definitely a Souls-like in every aspect. So yeah. But it's fine. As I said, I haven't got a bad word for it other than like, hey, I've kind of already played this a lot,
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, that was Wu Chang Fallen Feathers.
Nice.
By the way, actually, she really gets her kid out a lot.
Did she get her kid out?
Oh, bad
Oh,
man!
wow.
It was so
As in,
fun.
like, Bayonetta
I think did I
style,
tell you
or-
this story? I think I told you this
Does that
story.
mean it, like, ass?
No,
You talking
yeah,
ass?
because you put on a certain like different outfits or like armor or whatever, and one of this pieces of armor was just like you could just see her ass cheek hanging out. You can see like part of her.
It's so
thong
funny.
or
The
whatever.
game does not market it that way.
Yeah.
The game
And then
does not.
and then I only saw her from the back, and then I was playing this at this kiosk, right? And all these people were watching me play, and I like went to one of the shrines to pray,
no.
and she's like praying or whatever, and I'm like, oh, she's doing an animation. I'll just pan the camera.
Look at the
around.
animation, yeah.
And I as I pan, it's just like these massive fucking boobs just out of here. The camera zoomed right in. I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
Starts covering the controller. Like,
Oh my god.
So watch yourself on those.
God, I wish I saw that. Or like from across the room, like slowly zooming in on you doing that.
And I'm like nodding, shaking my head disapprovingly.
so they know I don't approve.
I don't approve. So that was Wu Chang Fallen Feathers.
Well.
Yeah. I got to play Invincible Versus, which is the Invincible fighting game that they announced during the Xbox press conference. Not an Invincible guy. Dabbled in it. I was like, I'm good.
Right.
I did not expect this to be as good as it was. It came out as my game of the show. Like the game I
Whoa.
played the most.
crazy.
The
That's
most
cool.
excited about. Yeah. So it's developed by members of Double Helix, former members of Double Helix, which were the crew behind the Killer Instinct reboot and revival. And then there was some drama, and they were taken off that project and purchased by Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, and there was some weirdness there. And then a bunch of them kind of like went their separate ways, and then they came back together to work with Skybound on this game. It is in the mold of Marvel vs. Capcom. However, it's designed entirely for playing on controllers. That's not to say you can't play it on arcade sticks or like hitboxes. They didn't have that functionality implemented. I talked to the developer, one of the main developers, and he was like, we are trying to figure out ways of making it work on arcade stick setups. And we're also trying to add in more specific like motion-based moves because they know that the fighting game community likes that kind of stuff. He opened by describing it as tournament level. So, but the way it works is it's very, very simple to the point where I think you could all play it and have fun immediately.
Cool. Okay, interesting.
It has like auto combos, which means you press attack. If you keep pressing the light attack button, it does a cool combo and ends in a big finisher, which is what the more recent Marvel vs. Capcom and games in the fighting game genre started to do. But it means that immediately cool things are happening and it's getting to the heart of what Invincible is, which is way over the top violence. It looks like Marvel from a visual perspective, then it behaves like Mortal Kombat, where stuff is like your heads are exploding and that kind of stuff. But what I found was really interesting was it had pretty much everything you would want from a crossover fighting game. So it doesn't skimp out on, there's aerial combos, there's tags, there's like assists, and they're very easy to execute and understand. But at the same time, without any of the nuance being removed from it or any of the kind of creative potential being removed from it, which I was very, very surprised by. One of the things that I really liked is when talking to him, he was like, you know what really sucks? When a game ends in a draw, which happens a lot, fairly regularly in fighting games, especially in tournaments where it's like, you know, you're trying to feel the other person out and you can have that. So what this game does, it is, so you have 3 characters. It goes into a sudden death mode where the character who's active at the time gets locked in. You cannot call any more characters in. But what it does is, if your health is low, it takes however much remaining health of the other 2 is, adds it to yours, and if there's overflow, it will use that to top up your super bar. Which means it adds a layer of strategy to how you call in your players and when you call them in. Because you might be like, I am very good with Invincible, and it looks like we're going to sudden death. I'm going to swap into Invincible. He's got full health or whatever it may be. But if you're a really good player, you could do a happy birthday, which is a thing that they call in these crossover fighting games, where during the process of calling your other player in, both characters are on screen at the same time for a very, very, very short period of time. Like it's almost split second. And if you can predict it and properly react, you end up hitting both characters at the same time and taking both health bars.
Right.
So like if you're like, I know this person loves Invincible and I know that they're going to try and bring them in, so I'm going to get ready to like preemptively get in there, and there's like strategy there, which I thought was,
That's
and
nuts.
I thought it was
That's
really,
brilliant.
really clever. And if that doesn't result in a clear victory, then it just ends in like a draw, like timeout. But beyond that, it has everything. It had push blocks. It has, and this is a bunch of jargon that people who are there who are interested in watching it, interested in fighting games will understand. But it's got like cancels. It's got like snapbacks, all this kind of stuff that is really, really important to the flow of a versus fighting game. And I don't really care about Invincible, but I was having so much fun playing that game.
Cool.
Damn.
So much fun. Yeah.
I think that's even more interesting that you're not into Invincible, so you're like not clouded by.
And also, I'm the kind of person who wants the more complicated schemes in controlling, because it's got light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, special button. So you don't have to, you know, now like the quarter circle punch, you don't have to do that. You just press it. It's like Smash Brothers flicking the stick, but it doesn't feel cheap at all. It doesn't feel like you're on Capcom vs SNK 2 EO where you're just like flicking buttons and doing that. It still feels like you need to think about it. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to see how it's funny because I think of it as a gateway fighting game. You play this and then you can go like, I like this. I like the flow of it. I'm going to find something more complicated. At the same time, it's like brutal and bloody. So no one's going to be like, that looks like fun.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Luce, what about you?
Nice.
I played Resident Evil Requiem today. So did
Fuck
Tam.
you.
Yep.
You played it.
We did.
Unbelievable. I'm so mad.
We were
right
chosen
now.
by the gaming gods.
Literally.
Yeah.
We got to see stuff,
We did.
but we didn't get to play it. So tell us.
This is going out after embargo. So
Yeah,
I
it
guess
is. It's going up on
the big update is that you can toggle between first and third person.
Yep.
I will say they need to remove it from a menu. It should be like push both sticks in, because there was points where the scenario that we were in, playing as Grace, the new protagonist, She wakes up in some kind of asylum hospital type thing, and she's all tied up, and she has to figure out a way to get herself off.
Did you play the theater presentation?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So just for the fine folks at home. And then it starts you off in first person, and you are basically wandering around this ward, and there's this giant
Creature.
Ooh, she looks like
It's Big Lisa. It's Lisa from RE1 remake, but big and scary.
she looks almost like a Studio Ghibli kind of
with
Yeah.
big teeth,
Yeah.
but not big sharp teeth,
The
big normal
flat
teeth, which
teeth,
is weirder.
and that's why she looks like kind of that Baba
Imagine
Yaga character.
the giant
from-
ogre from Resident Evil 4,
yeah,
but like bigger and like sweatier and
Yeah,
like
she's
grosser.
gross.
And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah.
yep.
Yeah. And so the thing that I wanted to do is that, so as she's sort of chasing you around, there were times where I wanted to be in third person, and I wanted to have the camera at the front so I could see her just,
I see what you mean. I see what you
get
mean.
that kind of that cool shot. And there were other times where if I was looking to solve puzzles or something, I would want to be in first person. And also even just sneaking around, crouched around, as you can hear her because she's up in the roof, and she has made big holes and she drops down and stuff. I wanted to be in first person because I find the tension way more effective. And it was immersion breaking to have to go into the menu to swap between the two. But I did like the fact that there was the option. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I do think, and it did say first person's recommended. I do think I will be playing the game in first person. Like I said, I thought the scares were better in that regard. I think coming off Village, I think there will be a lot of parallels drawn between House Beneviento.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get that vibe when I saw it.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And so, and I mean, even there's a moment where there's the Jack Baker or the dog rip through the wall, come scare you type thing. But it was, I'm excited for a new Resident Evil.
Yeah.
It was good.
In the theater presentation, there was a moment when she opens the door. And this dead
Zombie.
body goes,
Yeah.
and it's the deadest dead body you've
Yeah.
ever seen in your
yes!
life.
And she checks
like,
his
it's
pulse.
and then she checks his pulse, and she's like, "He's dead." And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
No, they do that for a reason.
And I'm like, "Oh my
Everybody
god!"
laughed.
They made a protagonist dumber than Ethan Winter. They finally did it. Like,
I feel like it's it is dumb.
I think she changed it in the gameplay because I remember her saying he was infected.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
I
of
don't
it.
know if
I
they
thought
took.
she
I
said
think
he-
they, but no, they
either
did.
way,
in
she
the theater
checked-
presentation, yes, but I wonder in the
But
gameplay
also,
they
it
changed
is definitely dumb. They need to put a better line in there, but it is to make you feel like nothing's happening now. Because when she turns back, that's when that thing appears, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but yeah, it was the
It's
entire
a
theater
tough
laughed.
moment.
Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. I was
Yeah,
not
yeah.
alone in thinking,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, did she just say that?" You know.
yeah.
And I mean,
But
the size of the demo area was very, very small. Relatively.
Yes.
do you know what?
speaking.
I really just had so much PD energy for me personally.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it just really felt like it was hallways. It was dark, ominous hallways that you were like, I don't want to walk down that hallway.
Well,
And
also as
Resident Evil
well-
has done that, of course, but the way this was lit and framed, it really felt like that more than ever before. And it really just made me feel like, just made me think about fucking Kojima made a fucking demo that has gone on to inspire, inspire the preeminent horror franchise to copy his work. This unbelievable. Anyway,
The goat.
So one thing that was in this demo that I'm not sure if it's going to carry on to the final game is that you're not just going into this room and the lighting situation is sorted for you. There were light switches, and that was another layer to it because it would be pitch black and you could see the light switch.
And then you're like, what's gonna happen when I turn
would
it
be
on?
turning it
Yeah.
on yourself. And I think the main one that got me is there was a statue of a bloody horse at the end of
Oh,
this
yeah.
corridor,
Sure.
and you flick the light switch and just, oh my god, what
It's
is
like,
it?
oh, it's just a statue.
It's just
Yeah.
That
dead.
statue of the horse is wild because from a distance it looks like a gross enemy.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then when you
it
get closer,
does.
you're like,
Oh,
oh, it's
it's
just
a
a
horse.
It's
Yeah.
just
Cool.
a horse.
I was looking at that statue. I kept being like,
Oh yeah.
Is it moving? Is
yeah,
it moving?
Yeah.
It's definitely them. It's a continuation. It's like the ideology from 7, 8 now, where it's just like
Yeah.
horror first
Yes.
more than anything.
Yeah.
Like
Well, they said
clearly
there's,
just.
there's going to be more cinematic action in
Well, that's the
there
thing I'm
too,
curious
which
to see
I'm
because the
interested
trailer
Yeah.
suggests a lot more going on. Like the trailer showed Raccoon City.
This fan theory
Yeah.
is that it's Leon that you're gonna character switch.
His
to.
voice, people are saying that his voice was.
That's,
Really?
I'm
Oh, in
pretty
that
sure that
trailer,
was
yeah.
it.
It sounds like-
right.
I'm pretty sure it was
Okay,
like
okay,
that,
okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
So two things. One of the things I will say, I played entirely in third person.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
I was
and
swapping between the two.
I swapped. Yeah, and I do think that if it was easy to swap between them, I think it could undermine the scares a bit because like you commit in first person, you commit to a specific viewpoint, whereas in third person, the scares don't come from the fact that you can't see anything. It comes from the fact that she moves very slowly.
Yeah, she
like
does.
she moves.
She does. I saw her running speed, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
When I was playing it, she felt heavy, like moving,
right.
and I think that is where the tension comes from because, and I feel like if you kept going back and forth, you could like undermine that a bit.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
like you
true.
said, it was a small chunk of it. But what we've seen seems to indicate that they're trying to go much bigger. We were talking earlier, I was like, it makes sense that they experimented with the hub and spoke system in Village, and now they're just going to go all the way with it and just create this much bigger, I don't want to say open world, but something close to it.
Something much bigger.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. I like that they're kind of like playing with us a little bit and like leaving a lot of big questions.
Yeah.
I mean, the character as well. So Grace, like the way they were talking about her is like, hey, she's this FBI agent. She's not going to be as proficient in the field, and to me that's like a Clarice Starling kind of situation, you know.
Sure.
And I'm like, that really intrigues
Is it this year?
February
next year,
February next year.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there a date or just this February?
February, it was like 20 something.
Oh, there's a date.
Something,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
it's got a
Nice,
hard date.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And it's going to be playable at Gamescom.
I'm excited.
Let's go.
For me, I'll stick with Capcom. I got to see some like in person like live gameplay of Onimusha.
Oh,
Way of
yeah.
the
Oh,
Sword.
yeah.
This one took me so I like Onimusha.
Yeah.
I love the first game was like a really like a PS2 like one of the mains for me.
Agreed.
And I went into this being like, yeah, this looks cool. I can't wait to see it. I walked out being like, this is the next big thing. This
It
is
looks
awesome.
incredible.
Man. It is so incredibly stylish.
Oh.
It is so like confident just in how it works. It's sick.
The
It's so cool.
animations?
The animation's insane.
Imagine, how would you say? Imagine FromSoft's like FromSoft pacing, but more sort of like almost like Team Ninja animation styling.
Yeah, flair.
Like flair. Like it just had this sway to it, and this just I can't even describe it. But when you see it, you will immediately. You saw it as well.
Yeah,
we
You
saw
saw
the
what I'm
theater
talking about.
presentation.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
It feels like the original Onimusha, where it wasn't like action focused.
No.
It was like firing a gun in Resident Evil. Like
Yes.
there's
Deliberate.
a deliberate nature
Yeah.
to the swings. But obviously back then they couldn't animate it to look cool.
Correct.
Now it's like there's motion behind
Absolutely.
it. It doesn't feel like binary attack, not attack, not attack, not attack. It feels like and I in my preview of it, I said like it feels like there is an element of like Sekiro to it, where it's like you need those animations because countering is way more important
Sure.
now, and like movement is a bit more important because it's not tank controls.
Yeah.
you know, it needs to be-
It definitely has. For me, it was like a lot of stuff. Like so, the original, like I remember, it always stuck out to me because it always had like really good like effect and sound and feedback for like the clash of the sword and like the clash of like or like the feel of a strike. And this still has that, and it's in like just like sparks fly when the swords connect, but also like when you parry a guy, he'll like do a one-hand parry where he kind of just like slides away the guy's sword, and you hear the metal on metal slide.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't sound like a movie, it sounds like it's its own like real actual like, and it just makes it feel so like tangible and
Yeah.
and then like you can when you're holding block, if there are enemies behind you and they go for you, like his arm will go king, like his arm will go behind him and do a cool stylish block. And then also the fact that like I felt like it did a really good job walking the line between like being gross and spooky but also being kind of light and cool, because the main character, like, he's got a swagger to him. He's doing like the rocks people's eyebrow, like everywhere, like looking around, like mugging.
I love his character
It's
design.
Miyamoto Musashi.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And his face model is Toshiro Mifune, the actor.
Yeah.
So he's got
and they're
that.
using that face. Like they're
Yeah,
really
they are
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
that face to work.
Can we just talk about the voice
Voices.
acting?
Not good. Not good at all. It's just
It felt like
really,
they were in a
really
very-
English people.
Yeah.
But it felt like they were in a very different game.
Yes,
Those
absolutely.
were like Cockney East London.
Terrible.
style.
Yes.
Sometimes it works if, like, Final Fantasy 14, for example.
Yeah.
Here it does not work at all in any way, shape, or form. They need to redo this English voice work. It's
I 100%
not good.
agree. Like, even
It's
knowing,
terrible.
like, it's early days Miyamoto Musashi, but like he's a legendary figure. I was like, this dude is not cool. No way, dude. Like,
No, I agree. It was
And
so
then-
jarring.
and then
Yeah.
that other guy, Ganryu, who's his like is his Majima, basically.
Right.
And he comes out and I was like, no, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I like the vibe of that guy. So we got to see like a whole boss fight with that character, and it was really, really good. Just like really good boss, like
Great
one-on-one
boss
type boss
his
fight.
style, like his way he moves, his fashion, everything about him was
He's
just
straight
like,
up is Majima. Like he
Yeah,
likes
no,
stabbing
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah,
he's
he was
unhinged.
actually.
Like Ezra
Like,
Miller mixed with Majima. It was
It
good.
reminds me of the guy in Okami who
Oh,
bothers you
yeah,
and
the
does,
annoying
yeah,
little-
the annoying guy in Okami
Yeah.
who fights you a bunch.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. You're like deflecting arrows. The enemies, a lot of the enemy types are very reminiscent of like the early enemies, but like in like cool new spins.
And there's like choice system as well, right? You saw that?
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
So like when you do enough damage, they'll go into like a down state, and then you can choose where you want to attack. Like almost pick it's like
To get
high damage in
different
the
souls.
head, or go for another part of it and get different types of souls. Like you might need health, so you go for another area that does less damage but gets you health back.
It also
It's
looks cool too.
It looks cool
yeah.
as hell.
Right.
Looks so good, man.
Yeah,
super
good
into
stuff.
it.
That's really promising.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I feel like well, let's maybe knock over the 3 epic things at once in the interest of time.
Okay.
I was gonna say Pragmata was also there. Hey, the Pragmata.
Ooh, the
Pragmata.
Wow. Let's talk
Fun.
quickly about Pragmata. Okay, I'll do
While
Pragmata.
we're in the Capcom block.
Oh, the Capcom block. Okay, so Pragmata is so weird.
What a weird game.
Pragmata is a game where you carry around a little android girl on your back,
With no pants on.
and she's super creepy.
Diana.
She's super creepy.
Yeah.
And
People's
the
Princess.
way the combat works is that you look at an enemy, and firstly you need to decode its armor, and you do this by doing like a block puzzle grid thing, like. You kind of use the
in ADS.
in ADS, and then you use the face buttons to move around a grid to like avoid to hit nodes, and then so imagine like a 9x9 grid, and you're literally moving a cursor around this 9x9 grid to hit certain marks. Hit the last mark, the armor is now decoded. You can now deal damage to the enemy with your dude who shoots it with a gun. Now. She's already yawning at the thought of that.
I played it. It's 11:15 at night.
Yeah. Look, it's too early to judge because obviously you can't just do that mechanic for 15 hours.
Yes.
That doesn't work.
Yes.
So obviously you're going to change it up and you're going to do different things.
Yeah.
But even by the end of that demo, I was not really enjoying that.
Really?
See, I
had
was.
so much
Oh,
fun
my
with it.
God.
I was loving it.
I was like, no, I was just, I guess I was already imagining what it would be like to do this much more, and I was already like, no,
I
because
think
like,
you're right, but I was having the best time.
Because
as
when-
well.
Because also when you pick up different nodes in the environment.
Sure, I saw that.
and So
Yeah.
there was layers of complexity to it.
Different guns
Different
and
guns. Oh, like that big net.
Yeah, the
thing.
net. You
the
can,
net
like,
basically
make
just
some
freezes them in place.
Yeah.
So obviously, and I've actually spoken to a bunch of people who all really liked it. So I think I was kind of the outlier who didn't, because I was like, but again, I think I'm more in the camp of like, if it's that for 15 hours, I don't see how that works. But obviously it's going to change. And so I need to see how it evolves to see what the final product
Yeah, it
is.
could be cool to see how it.
It
you know.
could
Yeah,
be cool to
exactly.
see what it does with it. All I was thinking in that first minute was like, I'm not so sure about this. That's kind of where I
It
landed.
reminded me of The World's Ends With You, where you're like doing two things at the same time.
Sure.
And it was, when you were good at that, it was really satisfying. It was
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
But then it's got like the style of Vanquish, and
Yes,
it's
it
got
does.
it's got like the chip away at them of Binary Domain. And I was like,
Yep.
this is ticking a lot of boxes for me. And I was like having a great time.
I'm just curious to see style wise. It like besides so I actually think like the big chunky spaceman like Isaac, but like with a creepy robot girl on his
Hugh.
shoulder helping him out.
Hugh.
No, I'm just saying like he's like an Isaac. Like
yeah.
he's
No,
a
His
looks
name
like
is-
the-
But his name is Hugh.
Yeah,
It looks like
Hugh.
the Kojima Ludens.
He totally does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's like it's just like a cool weird thing, and then the gameplay concept is interesting, but it's like everything else, the environments, the robots, it was just so generic. And I feel like that initial
Sure.
reveal of the game just had this weird like melancholic thing to it, and I just hope
Yeah.
that like the game has some like zest.
I wonder if that is like a contained area that you leave at some point.
I assume
Yeah.
it is. Well,
Yeah.
you're on the
Probably.
moon
You're on a moon.
for some reason.
That Pragmata
AI
came
is
from
bad.
the moon.
AI is bad.
True.
AI is bad. You're on the moon.
Except with the medieval peasant stuff,
Been there.
which is really cool.
Which was fun.
So anyway, Epic. We'll do those quickly.
Yes.
So there were 3 games Epic was showing. The first was called End of Abyss, which is from many of the same people who worked on Little Nightmares.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like imagine Little Nightmares
That's my shit.
with
So-
guns.
One of the co-founders, he was the guy in our session.
Okay.
Him and his brother.
Yep,
and
that's
someone
right.
else, I think, from.
Section
And
9.
it kind of has like a Metal Gear Solid perspective. Like And yeah, it actually, look, I really enjoyed it. I would say that of the 3 demos that we played, this one was the one that you kind of felt like, okay, I still need to see a bit more of this. But it was solid. They really nailed the vibe because obviously they specialize in vibe.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I think it's solid and interesting, and I'm keen to see more. Next up was Infinitesimals. And you play as a little sexy alien man. Apparently,
he's a Garrus.
Apparently, he looks like Garrus, and so people are like, he think he's hot. So anyway, he's like stranded in someone's backyard.
Yeah.
Imagine Grounded, but like sci-fi shooty stuff.
Bug's Life with guns.
And it actually is great. The sense of scale that it achieves is better than what Grounded was able to produce because it's got a more sort of photorealistic style. And also the combat mechanics are really nice. Like it has this really nice sort of floaty physics-based momentum to it that makes it feel great to shoot stuff and move around and jetpack and stuff.
Wow.
So I had a really great time with that demo. I loved it.
I called it Hello, I Shrunk the Kids.
I hate you because that is so good.
That's brilliant.
That should have been mine. It's too good. So there was that. And the third one was the real standout. And this is the one that Kojima bumped us. I didn't tell this. I didn't tell the story. Basically,
Chaos.
we had a booking for this.
You got cut in line.
We had a booking for this, and then we came out from one to the other. And we're meant to go into this one next. And they're like, "Oh, there's been a bit of a scheduling challenge, and we're just gonna need to move you around a little bit." And I'm like, what? I'm like, why? I had a booking. Like I'm organized. I came all this way. And they're like, Mr. Kojima is in the room and he has been. And
You're like, okay, fine.
And he has been there for an hour. He actually, we learned that it was his favorite game of the show.
Yeah.
And it was the one that is the only one that he went to play at Summer Games Fest. The sessions are half-hour sessions, but he spent an hour in there because he loved it so much. And honestly, though, yeah, when you see this game, but did you guys play it?
Go tomorrow.
Oh, when you see this
What's
game,
it called again?
I've seen it.
It's called Out of Words.
Yeah.
It's made by stop motion animators, and they've been doing this their whole lives. They're like masters of the craft.
Looks
kind
beautiful.
of thing. It is the best stop motion I've ever seen in my life. I cannot believe what these people did in terms of the scenes. And then it's basically like Split Fiction or It Takes Two. It's a 2-player co-op game.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And it has like mechanics that are more demanding than what those games ask of you. Like they're really interesting physics-based stuff that, like, I love those games, don't get me wrong. But my point I'm making is that these are harder. It's
Nice.
for it's for
Real
gamers. But it's just wait till you see this game, man. It's really, I think it's
stunning.
It is a front runner. It's that kind of award kind of game where you can imagine this in those conversations. It has that energy. It has that beauty. It played so super well. The whole package is just like, so yeah, I'm not surprised that Kojima took the interest that he did because I think this was my game of show. Yes, it was my game of show.
All 3 of those games were bangers. I was like, damn.
I think Epic's publishing label, to full credit to Tim Sweeney backing that. They make all the money in the universe on Fortnite, and then he uses it to buy up forests. He uses it to fight Apple and their bullshit, and he uses it to publish cool little indie games. Now, I'm sorry, but that's pretty cool. I do respect him for that.
You heard it here first. Skill Up loves billionaires.
Loves the billionaires. That's right.
We knew we would change.
When in Rome, baby. When in Rome.
Truly a shill up.
I'm excited to check those out. I'm checking them out tomorrow because there's actually
you are going to have a
more of this
great
event.
time.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's fantastic. So
Cool.
yeah, that was me.
Other game I played Outer Worlds 2. So I didn't actually finish Outer Worlds when it came out a few years ago. When was that? Like 20?
I'm going to say like 19, 20, 19 maybe, yeah.
I did like the vibe of it. I'm not sure why I didn't stick. In 2019, there was a lot going on, like Disco Elysium and Sekiro and everything. But I actually really enjoyed what I played of Outer Worlds. Well, I was taking all my
it's so
energy.
hard, isn't it?
Outer Worlds 2 today. I thought in the Xbox presentation they did a really good job of highlighting like just how funny it is,
Yes.
and the fact that there's a perk system, but also
Bad
like,
knees.
the floor system. And so they gave us a bunch of pre-made builds, and it was like you're in this facility, and there are these kind of, and you have to get a certain piece of equipment to open, like to use these fade rift type things, and they would create like changes in the environment. And so they were like, yeah, you can go in all guns blazing. You do this, you do more speechcraft. And then the third build was the sneaky boy.
Yeah,
So
that's the
I
one.
picked that one. And I immediately went in and I just was like, I'm just going to play this like Dishonored. And it let me play it like
It does.
Dishonored.
You really were. I was watching. I was like,
Yes.
"Yep, that is a Dishonored ass move."
There was a point where I was trying something as well. Because I think in terms of actually the equipment that they, like the loadout that they launched you in with, it was pretty good. It was like, here's a distraction module, here's like a smoke grenade. I can't remember what I was trying to do, but I turned around at one point and Mikey at Obsidian was like watching me, and I went, I tried to do a Dishonored thing, and he went, I could see it was not successful. But no, I was just really enjoying it, and like it's one of those things where you don't have a lot of time with
Yes.
a game that is so involved and has so many systems. So, you know, there's all this stuff about like weapon mods and all that stuff that I didn't get a chance to really explore. But walking around that world and just kind of overhearing some of the little dialogue and even some of the jokes that they had in the presentation and stuff like that. So it's more like, it's also not connected to the first one. Like none of the characters. So we interviewed them
Yeah,
afterwards.
that's true.
Yes,
That's
none
true.
of the characters
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the first one. It's a different colony in space.
It's connected to Secret Level though.
Yes, it is connected to the secret level.
That's
episode.
important. That's important.
So
That's a choice. Yeah.
I see this one quite differently in the sense that like I think this game demos very badly, only in the sense that like you can't play this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if people ask me, what do you think about it? I'm like, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know, man. Like I played this game for it's you can get through that build in 10 minutes.
yes,
And it's mainly just killing people, and that's not what this game is. There are so many question marks about like the open world aspects of Outer World 1 were kind of its weakest aspect, level design in particular. We didn't get to see any of the open world here. I remember when I previewed Avowed, and they give you like a little 10-minute slice, or that they give you 30 minutes, but you really can get through those builds in 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I
you're in
think
like
it's
a little dungeon.
And it's just like a bad way to demo these games. So like, we'll show you some gameplay and you'll see it and you'll be like, well, that certainly looks like Outer Worlds, but you're not going to know anything more about the game, I don't think.
Oh no, like I mean, I think my issue with it is that I have no idea at what point in the game this was. Dropped in,
Yes.
zero context,
Yes.
no idea what I was doing, no idea who the characters were who were with me, my companions.
Exactly.
No idea how a lot of the systems worked, because obviously none of the tutorials were
Sure.
in there, so I was just sort of messing stuff up a lot. Threw a grenade at the ground immediately. But at the same time, the feel of it was really nice, and that's why I'm saying it's like when I was playing it like Dishonored, I looked at that game and I was like, first person. They told me I can stealth it.
Yep.
And I was doing the double jumps. I was finding vents. I was unlocking lockpicking, and I was like, this just feels really good. So again, had a nice time with it. Remains to be seen. To your point, how everything
Totally.
else fits together.
Exactly.
But also, like in terms of budget and polish compared to
Oh
one,
yeah, no,
I was
that's
like,
definitely a step up.
Oh,
You can
that's
see
cool.
they had a lot more money on this.
You can pick a stealth build, give yourself the floor where it's like every time you crouch or
I did.
your knees creak,
did.
and, like they make a noise and people can hear it.
I love that.
However,
so much.
when you have that perk, you also move much faster crouched, and you can also get another thing that allows you to, once you do a stealth kill,
Go
you
faster.
get a boost.
Yeah.
So then you can like chain from point
Oh,
to point
sweet.
stealth kills.
Okay.
Which is like the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and I
funny,
cannot wait to
That's
do
good.
it.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I did get that floor with the knees. And for some reason in my head, I thought, oh, it's fine. I'm just going to be crouched the whole time. And then I forgot that I do a lot of jumping. And you have a double jump. And so the whole time it's like,
That's cool. Okay, I like stuff like
that
that.
was funny.
Yep.
But no, I had a good time.
What about you?
I was trying to think of what else I played. I think we all covered everything because
We actually haven't been able to play that much because
Yeah.
I have another one. Have you got another one?
Deadpool VR.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
So
Come on, comic book boy, what do you got?
It's better than the trailer suggests.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Okay.
It's not on the level of like an Arkham Shadow. But it's fun. It kind of it's like fast. Like it plays like fucking Ultra Kill. Like you're like
Okay.
flying around the level.
Okay.
Because it's like you can move. Like it's like fully like you control the sticks. You move. It's not on rails or anything. Like you move around these environments. You can like jump, double jump. You could slide. You have a grappling hook.
Cool.
So you're like flying around these arenas doing Deadpool stuff. The shooting is great. The shooting's really satisfying. Some of the animations are really good. If you toss a grenade, like the enemies will be like, "Boo!" and try and like run away from it like idiots. The melee to me, it was probably the only issue because
you can block heavy enemies attacks, and like you can put the swords up like this to block, but it just feels like it kind of slows down all the momentum, because the way you have to beat these guys, you have to stop running around like a maniac, block their hit, then they're opened up, then you have to slice them. And also, like, swinging swords in VR, I always feel like an idiot. Like, guns are one thing.
Sure, you look like the Jedi kid or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So, but like, it works. It's very. It was interesting to see how it would kind of do, like, anything you could just kind of think of. The game would be like, all right, yeah, cool. Like, jump and like shoot downward at a guy and land on a guy, and then like Deadpool will like kick him in the face. You can just throw your sword if you want. You could throw your guns before you reload them, and it just like it'll like pop a guy in the head and like he'll die. So it was just kind of like cool as like a little like sandboxy like fuck around thing. You're on the mission I played. You're on a shield helicarrier, and it's like being invaded by these like bad goons, and you're running around killing them. And he's making like Marvel quips and references and stuff. Like Omega Red's gonna be one of the villains. Mojo's gonna be in it.
Nice. That means there's gonna be some cool levels in it.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like, okay, cool. Neil Patrick Harris as Wade. I don't know.
As Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
Yeah, that's come on, man. Nolan North could have.
Yeah, it could have been.
Sure. Yeah, he was Deadpool in the Deadpool game, right?
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I don't know yet, but I'll just say like it's better than the trailer made it appear.
Cool. It's nice.
Yeah.
Play Dying Light 2 The Beast.
Ooh.
Dying Light The Beast. It's
Dying Light
2 The Beast.
It's more of it. They are very insistent that it's very different from the Dying Light 2, and it's like the best parts of 1 and 2 combined. If that's true,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, if that's a good pitch, if that's true, I guess I'm not familiar enough to be able to really feel how this is massively different. I kind of need to spend more time with it, and also go back and look at what I remember of 2, and we'll rewatch my review, for example. Hopefully it comes up and recommended soon. So
your phone's listening.
Yeah,
so
phone's listening.
Yeah.
It will. So look, I had a good time with it because I actually did like Dying Light. I felt like Dying Light 2 was too long. Because it was like 40 or 50 hours. I'm like, nah, we're done with this. Yep. And this one is promising to be much shorter. And I think it's also got less story stuff in it from what I can maybe surmise. And again, I'm glad because the story stuff in Dying Light 2 was not good. So I don't know, like did
you get to use the vehicle?
Yes. And you know what? The guy...
It was great in Dying Light 1.
Dude, this vehicle was so fantastic because it turns out the guy that's worked on this also... Because Techland used to also work on some racing games back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they have the same person leading the design of it that was leading it back then. And so as soon as you get in this car, you're like, shit, man, I want to fucking compare that to driving like any Ubisoft vehicle. You're just like, get me out of this immediately, you know? So look, I had a good time with it. I think it's that same kind of thing as the Wu Chang game I played or whatever, which is that like, I'm not really seeing how this is very different, but if you really like that thing and you want more of that thing, this is going to give you more of that thing. So I will play a little bit more of it though to sort of, make up my mind about it. But look, it was fun. I had a good time with it for sure. And
Ninja Gaiden Ragebound.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just super, super quick.
Cool.
It's the retro style Ninja Gaiden game from the Blasphemous people.
Yes.
Really cool art, really cool music, and it's hard and shit is like running at you constantly. So my experience with the first Ninja Gaiden from back in the day, like, was very limited. I played it a little bit. It was very hard. I'm more of like a modern Ninja Gaiden guy, but it's cool. And it's very much like you die very quickly. You're like essentially like doing that like jump parry thing at everything to get around these levels, and a lot of it is based around like hitting the 3 enemies will spawn, and it's about like hitting the glowing one, because then when you hit that glowing one you get charged up, so then your next attack will more easily kill the next enemy. So it's essentially like a volleyball, like you're like bouncing this ball around and trying to like keep sorry, I'm like stumbling here, but like stay powerful with your hits and just keep hitting the right person and even like the right object to like break through to keep going. And it's super fast. You're wall running, you're climbing. Really, really cool. And then the other retro one is Marvel Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Absolutely awesome.
Okay.
You've seen the trailers.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. But it actually does some fun stuff because like you pick 2 characters and you can swap between them like a fighting game.
Yes.
And if you can do like a mid-swap attack where like the other character comes in and does an attack and helps extend the combo.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there was a lot of room for experimentation and stuff. Good shit.
I played FPC Firebreak as well.
Oh yeah, finally caught. You're all caught up.
It is manic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a
yeah.
lot of stuff going on. I think maybe
Which one did you?
I did
do?
the paper.
The paper.
Papers, please.
Sticky.
Yeah, we had to kill like Sticky Ricky at the end or whatever, which I loved.
Sticky Ricky,
I
Ricky.
actually loved most of it. I just think that it's a lot visually.
Mhm.
It's very hard to pass it, I think.
Yes.
And I think maybe that will come as I spend more time with it, figure out its nooks and crannies and what have you. But definitely first pass, it was very visually overwhelming. But I had a good time with it for sure. Like we were definitely yelling and it was crazy and it was fun.
Yeah, I saw you and Stu holding it
Yeah,
down.
that's it.
Crushing
Exactly.
it. Yeah,
Exactly.
it was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go around tomorrow and kind of mop up sort of
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
devs
more.
and all that stuff.
I got
and
more.
Sword of the Sea I haven't played yet, but that's the one from the
Journey.
I played
Journey.
that. I played that.
Oh,
I want to play
Excellent.
that so bad.
Absolutely awesome.
Looks amazing. Looks
Really, really
incredible.
cool. It gives you plenty of opportunity to just those games are so it's from the people who made like Abzu, The Pathless. So
Love
really,
it.
really good about player movement mechanics.
Yeah, the flow state games. I love them.
How well it just encourages you to just hit a jump, fuck
That's it.
around, do fun little flourishes if you want, do
That's
a
it,
spin,
man.
just have a nice time.
Do a flip.
Do a flip.
They like took the
But
best.
relax
they,
about it.
They took the best level of Journey and made a whole game out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The music didn't quite grip me as much as I was hoping, like something like Abzu, because Abzu's was incredible.
Austin Wintry again.
Is
It
it?
is, yeah.
Okay.
It is. Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear more. Definitely, I'm glad it is him. But like the environments, the feel of the movement, the jumps, the puzzles, it's you know what you're getting into completely, but it just feels great because you're on like a hoverboard.
Right.
Yeah.
That's about what I got.
That's all
I
I
took
now.
a quick look. The only other thing I've been doing is Liza P. Overture,
Sure.
but we talked
Yeah.
about that. It's just
Yeah.
very good.
Cool.
If you like Liza P. Also, they've added difficulty levels to Liza P now. So if you were ever put off and you thought it was too difficult, they've actually they made it easier if you want it.
There you go.
It's good.
I think that's the
I
show,
think
man.
That's it. That's a stacked
a-
show.
It's 11:30 at night, baby.
Thank you, folks, for listening. Thank you for hanging out, listening to us talk about a ton of stuff.
Huge amount.
We're gonna have more to talk about.
I
There's
was going
plenty
to
of
say
stuff
we
that
haven't
we
even
can't.
hit like what we've been playing outside of
Yes.
this. So that's going to be a bumper
Yeah.
in the next episode.
Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But Tam, what's up, man? Where can the people find you?
Don't.
Nice. I feel that,
It's
man.
a
I feel
threat.
that.
Don't.
Do not. Good. All right, good. Well, you guys can find us at the usual places. Thank you very much for listening. Check the newsletter. Check the feed. Check the whole thing. Tie your shoes and go to bed. That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Yeah, dude. If we can get back to our hotel.
That chicken is hitting.
It is.